All right, we are back from closed sessions. Waiting on our Vice Mayor. All right, so we're going to go into study session. We're going to talk presentations by Scott Smith, reference to removal on street parking and addition of a traffic lane for southbound Euclid Street between Edinger Avenue and Warner Avenue. The floor is yours, sir.
Hey, Rick, can you, oh, there we go. And the slides, perfect. Honorable Mayor, council members, I'm going to approach this a little bit different. I'm going to have a very brief presentation and give you the opportunity to ask questions as needed. This is not a new topic. We're talking about the removal of, or the addition, removal of parking and addition of lanes, of one lane on southbound Euclid Avenue. In order to do that, we have some recommendations to best address that moving forward. And essentially what that would be is a traffic study. And that traffic study, if we did that, would be $100,000. Our estimate, we estimate between $60,000 and $100,000, but we're going with the higher value just because that way we can be more sure. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So we would be coming back, though, with whatever the true cost is. Then in regards to the construction documents, which would be recommended because the construction documents ultimately are signed and stamped by engineers, and that is one means to minimize our liability or risk and also ensure that they're designed adequately. That would be $100,000 and the construction would be around $50,000. These are rough order of magnitude cost estimates. Since the funding we anticipate would be through general fund, the traffic study may not be necessary, recommended, but may not be necessary. So with that, I'm concluding my presentation and opening up to questions regarding this. And really what city staff is seeking is, this has been, like I said, come up multiple times over the years, even before I join the city, and so we're looking at a time frame of when we would like to consider doing this.
All right, I'm going to open the floor for any discussion.
You have a question. Do you have any opinion on the benefits or of I guess removing the lane, adding the lane, removing the parking?
Yeah, my opinion is that it's probably going to happen sometime in the future. Whether that future is near term or a little bit further out is hard for me to say. Yeah. But I believe it's going to happen at some point in time as volumes continue to increase and as the additional developments go in.
And the southbound can you say again what the level of service is on southbound Euclid? It's D all the time or D some of the time? How bad? I mean, I travel on southbound Euclid quite a lot. Doesn't seem too bad, but it is, I guess, an opportunity to add some throughput.
It is an opportunity to add some throughput if we add that lane. It is level service D. I do have my staff here that could probably get into the nuances of it, but to my best understanding, that's an average value. Is that correct?
Okay, and D is that bad? It's good. What's
It's acceptable. So on the right side of the slide presentation, you'll see some LOS level service examples. And it's essentially what that does is how tightly packed the road is while the traffic is flowing through it. So D is not a failing. It is an acceptable level. And is it absolutely necessary at this point in time? From the level of service standpoint, no, not necessarily. So it comes into, do we anticipate that it's going to need it sooner rather than later? And also other periphery issues that which will tend to escalate as the level of service maybe gets impacted with more traffic on there. That I've heard stories about the parking on there can create a little bit of difficulty when people are stopping to back in. And so you got all those things to consider.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Councilman Grandis?
Yeah, I'd say my biggest issues with that is the parallel parking that has to be done. I think it's very dangerous because it brings down at a lot of points, a lot of times to 2 lanes. There's also the issue with RV parking along Euclid that has become an issue. I think it solves a lot of concerns. So what I don't like is the cost to do $100,000 on a study. You and I had a conversation about that today, and you explained to me why. I don't like it, but I understand it. A lot of it has to do with liability, and can I say CYA? Am I allowed to say that here? So it's unfortunate that we would have to spend that much money to do this. I say just paint it and be done, but I guess we have to do it the right way.
Can you clarify CYA?
No, cover your hiney.
Okay. There's many acronyms. I want to make sure what you're referencing. All right. Vice Mayor Canine, please.
Yeah, thanks, Scott Smith, for the update. I think I was one of the proponents of this as a long-term solution to not only the current traffic issues, the challenges with parking, but also foreseeing that the Euclid and Hyle property is going to bring many new residents. And so we heard a lot of testimony, at least when we were kind of evaluating an appeal on this, and there was extensive amount of traffic discussion. One of my questions is, can we use some of the data from the traffic study that the developer was required to provide? Is there any, at least a starting point, so it is not a, maybe a study from scratch? Is there an ability to use some of that data?
There is an ability to use some of that data, but sometimes they'll look at how old it is, how accurate, and then use it more as a reference point than an actual leaning on all of it, because it is
Right.
a traffic engineer that's stamping and signing it saying they didn't collect the data, so they may have a little bit of issue with using it as their primary data.
Right. And I was driving recently in Irvine, I think it was on Alton and near Culver, and I think one of their parks, they also widened a lane, and so it's pretty common with cities, especially with a lot of park space, trying to accommodate increased traffic levels. So, but I appreciate the information. Thank you.
All right. I want to give you the opportunity for Councilmember Constantine to chime in, if she would like.
She is on
Sure.
Zoom.
If somebody could show my video too. Oh, here we go. It's still blocked. Anyway, I think we need to do something about the parking situation there, especially with the housing coming. And the driving on Euclid anyway is challenging, especially when the weather is warmer and when there's events and when the park is in high usage. So there's challenges there. I don't know why I'm hitting the button for my video, but it's not. It says you cannot start your video because the host has not.
I'm working on it, Kim.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, that's all I have to say on this for the moment.
All right. Thank you. Well, as to my point on this one, I think I raised some of the several issues I've raised in the past, and I'm glad that staff is bringing it back and address this point that I have addressed this last time when we approved this project, that we should consider winding up the traffic, because it will definitely will serve the community in terms of traffic flow. As you could see, if you look at the drawing, I can only imagine if we do not open that up. Let's assume that during rush hour, people are trying to go home, that 2 lane going southbound, one of the lane, fast lane, is going to slow down because everyone's trying to make a left turn. I mean, if you recall how many residents could be in there, I think it's about, with the single family home, the apartments, the condo, I think it's in the 600 plus. Multiply that by 2 car. How many vehicles we going down that lane? And the left lane, all it takes is one person just back it up, slow down, because they have to get in line to make a left turn. But the left lane is a fast lane. God forbid one person is not looking up the road and just rear end that person. So opening up that third lane will make sense to alleviate some of those issues, that, for traffic congestion. That's my point. So now reference back to the cost. I have shared this at the last meeting when we approved this project, and I made recommendations that if we do consider this avenue, the developer should pitch in, because why do we have to do this? Because of the project. It's a cost to us, but I believe that they shook their head that they were not going to incur the cost, or the cost we were told back then was very minimal for them, if I remember.
Well, it's a layered question. The cost is what we gave you, I believe at that meeting, was the construction costs only. We didn't get into all the studies and the construction drawings. But also, yeah, there needs to be a nexus if you're having the developer contribute. Their percentage of the increased traffic would then be attributed to that. And that was what was discussed. I believe at the conclusion of the conversation, there was nothing to move forward on, but that's the way it would work. So if they have an incremental, it has so many daily trips, and then if they're only increasing it a little bit, then they pay that percentage of impact.
Okay, so do you need direction from us, or this is just a study at this point?
Seeking direction to move forward. This would be, as you can see, we labeled or listed that the study would take a little bit of time, so it'll span beyond this fiscal year. So, but if I have council's direction to move forward with it, then we will start getting quotes, and we'll work towards preparing a staff report to award, as well as create a project and fund it, find all the funding and all that.
Okay, I'll leave the
Question.
Vice Mayor Kanin.
Director Smith, is there an ability to use some of the on-call consultants that were recently awarded earlier in the year okay. So
Yes, there is.
It would be a little bit faster than going out for a full RFP.
Yes, and
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up,
Okay.
because I thank you, in my mind, although not personally, almost on a daily basis, for allowing us to have those on-call consultants, because it allows us to perform quicker and better.
Great, thank you.
Councilmember Grandis?
I would still like to see if there's, if we work it out with our risk team, et cetera, that we just do it without the study, if there's a way to make that happen, because it sounds like we're going to do it. So if we're going to do it, let's just do it. And I don't think the risk of, lawyers, I hate lawyers, sorry, but, that's why. Sorry, Colin.
Not included.
I have to deal with them all day, trust me.
What he meant by that, he hates lawyer until he needs one.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah. Sorry, Colin, I forgot you were sitting there.
No, I'm on your team on that one.
Well, the bottom line is what I'm trying to say is, if we could do it some way without having to pay for a huge study thing that we're going to end up doing anyway, let's just do it.
Okay.
I don't mind on that analogy, but I just want to make sure that we be very cautious, make sure that we don't exclude ourselves from liability for not doing the study session.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Councilmember
I had
Harper?
one more question. Along Euclid and Edinger on the top, if we're going to look at that, can we look at the light, like the street lighting? I know it's when there are events there, people crossing the street, it's very dark. So I don't know if we can maybe take a look at the lighting around that area as well as part of the project. Thanks.
Yes, we can definitely look at that.
Vice Mayor Kanin?
I'm sorry, one more question. So just thinking, and this is in line with Councilman Grandis, could we think about maybe a progressive design build or some kind of alternative delivery method that incorporates, you can get going a little bit faster, but you're still doing everything properly?
Yeah, what we can do is we'll reach out, we'll get the proposals, we're going to analyze them, and if there's a mechanism to streamline and maybe minimize the traffic study or eliminate it, we will come back to you through a memo or through a council action to talk to you about it, maybe even through the award, and explain what we're doing.
All right. Thank you so much, Councilmember Constantine. Did you want to make any more comments?
Well, yes, Mayor Bowie.
All right.
When you were speaking before, just for a point of clarification, City Council did not approve that housing complex. That was the Planning Commission. And I have received some requests from the community after I proposed the idea initially. People are saying there's no bike lane on Euclid there. So possibly that could be looked into, but I am in support of this and just moving forward as expediently as possible.
All right, Director Scott, I hope you have the direction.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, the next presentation is municipal code requirement for reference to business closure. Presentation by Omar Delaboy, or Community Development Director. Oh, it's Josh.
Josh, yeah.
There we go, Josh. Floor is yours.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, Council, Maggie. In front of you today, you have another, just like Scott, a short presentation for the code sections we have regarding vacant buildings and the signs and the maintenance of those buildings. So, according to Municipal Code Section 21.24.120, this is what is required by the owner of the business when their business goes out of business. They have these three requirements. We don't always do these three items. Typically, we know that the tenant spaces aren't vacant for very long. I know that that's not the case for some areas of the city, but most of the commercial properties in the city are maintained well to attract business, right? They don't want to have any empty, vacant businesses. Another thing is, when they remove the sign, sometimes you can still see the outline of the sign, so it's kind of more of a blight to have a sign on a vacant building than have it removed and you can see all the damaged, areas of the building. Oh no, I think I messed up, Rick. Oh, there you go. All right. And then this is what's required for the vacant maintenance of the vacant buildings. We would require them to board up the buildings if there's constant violations or if people are breaking in there or trespassing or whatever. We do require them to board it. We can board it at the cost of them as well, but that's just for emergency situations. So, and then that's it. Any questions?
Okay, I'll open the floor for any discussion or comment. Vice Mayor Kunin?
Thanks, Josh, for the presentation. I think where Councilwoman Constantine and I were going with is the aesthetics, particularly with a business that's been boarded up for multiple years. If that can, just a coat of paint that sort of blends in with the building, just so it doesn't become an eyesore. I think that's where I was leaning in this item.
Yeah, so we routinely monitor these areas. There's one business that's been vacant. We required them to board it up, to put some paint on it. I did ask them to paint the boards to match the actual building so it doesn't look as vacant. There were transient issues. I contacted the owner. They got rid of those transient issues. Yeah, I mean, every property is different. Every case is different, but yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Councilman Grannis, did you want to chime in?
Nope.
Okay. Councilman Harper? My other question is, the change that you're asking, is it just a painting? Is that what it is?
No.
How is it working right now, currently, with the current
I mean, like I said,
municipal ordinance? Is it effective?
yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a couple areas in the city that I have to routinely monitor, reach out to the owner to remove, I don't know, vegetation, graffiti, whatever, board up the property. It's not a huge issue. I have good communication with a lot of these property owners, and if I can't get the information,
Hey, Josh, people in the back room saying they can't hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. What was I saying?
Start real quick.
All right, sorry.
So, I think the issue is, for example, we have one building where it's boarded up, it's been boarded up for a while, and it just looks, it's kind of like that broken window, it just kind of doesn't feel right. So we've asked them to paint it to match the building. Normally, it's not in the code. We've asked them to do it. I believe they're doing it, and there's no issue there. If we run into the issue where we don't get cooperation from the property owners and we need to change the municipal code so that they board it up, but then they also need to paint to match, then we can bring back a code amendment at some point. But right now, I think our understanding is the council would like to have it painted to match, so this looks, it kind of blends in a little bit better. It doesn't look like it's vacant and have that, vacant feel to it. So that's what we'll do with the buildings we have vacant now and in the future. And if we run into issues, then we can bring it back before you.
It's going to look vacant regardless. I agree it's going to might be a little bit less of an eyesore, but it's going to look vacant regardless. And I think they did that is because they had homeless breaking in. That's why they end up having boarding. But they did not board that when it was vacant for like 4 years. It's only in the last, 8 months that homeless start breaking in and enter the property. That's why they end up having to boarding it.
And then I think we had 3 or 4 RVs in that area of this one in particular that we were talking about. Those have been removed, and so we're keeping an eye on it.
So, for me, regardless, I think I'm not for it, or no, I'm not against it. It just depends on the flavor of the council. This is only just add a little bit more cost, which is the painting texture, but everything else, I mean, they're doing it as compliance based on our municipal code ordinance, which is take out the sign, which they have, board it up when the place becomes an issue, and which they did board it up. Now, we just want to change the code, which is to add in the painting, the aesthetic to it. Am I correct? This, if I understand you correctly.
Yes.
So I don't have an issue on it. So I think we need directions. Do we want that to move forward, just change the amendment to the ordinance to add the painting to it? I guess that's a question.
I'm good. I don't think this is a big issue. I don't think this is something we have to spend a lot of time on. I think you guys are handling it the way it is, and no change is needed.
I agree. So I agree. So
Well, I have something to say.
okay.
So there are 5 restaurants that are gone. One has been gone for 5 years, and that's the one you're talking about with the sign still on and the boarding out. Okay. We have another one. I'm not going to name names, but we have another one that went out probably 2 years ago, another one almost 2 years ago. They still have their signs on there, and sometimes the areas of the parking lot need to be maintained a little bit better. There's one that just went out not long ago, too. So, I mean, again, they're supposed to have the signs down.
Okay. If it's reference to the sign down, the ordinance is there. We just need to have the enforcement. Am I correct?
Well, I get it.
Ashley? Okay.
Yeah.
So the ordinance is there.
But it needs to be also that, like, if for some reason, if they're going to board up the windows, it needs to look aesthetically better. You can't just have the plywood showing. It needs to, because the building is not the color of the plywood, and it stands out tremendously.
Can I ask Omar if you have experience coming from a different city? How are they handling this?
So normally it's boarded up. The signs, they'll just put a blank sign in there. As Josh mentioned, sometimes, so in the wall signs, they'll remove those, but then there'll be holes and patching and whatnot, and sometimes it just looks worse. So it's a case by case with the properties. I'll mention for our economic development team that most properties are not vacant very long. We have a low vacancy rate, but there are certain properties where we're having a little bit issues in getting somebody there. So, but normally this is boarded up, and we hope that the vacancy doesn't last too long. But I think what we can do with understanding from what the city council is looking at is to have them paint it. We gain cooperation. The property owners are generally cooperative with us. Like I said, sometimes with the sign, you take it off and it looks worse. And so, we may leave it up hoping that a tenant comes in soon. But then if it sits there for a while, then we'll come back to them and say, why don't you take out the sign? It's not, you don't have a tenant coming in soon. So if somebody goes out, then normally we hope to have somebody coming in within a few months, and then we won't make it an issue. But if it becomes long-term and chronic, then we'll have code enforcement go out.
Right. Okay. Councilmember Harper?
Yeah, I think it seems like the current procedures are adequate, so I don't think we need to make any changes at this time.
You want to wait in? Okay. I think you have direction, so I think we're good as the way it is. Well, thank you so much for your work. All right, we have a few minutes before our 6 o'clock meeting, so we're going to take a recess. We'll come back at 6 o'clock. Thank you. It is. Welcome everyone to the regular meeting, Tuesday, October 7, 2025, at 6 o'clock meeting. And today, I go into open sessions and call to order. And we'll have the invocation by Pastor Natalie Benson. She's here. Great.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. I invite you into a spirit of prayer. Creator of all, we gather today with many various beliefs, identities, and walks of life, yet we are united in a shared love for this Fountain Valley community. We give you thanks for the many ribbons of life that have come together to allow us the life we have here, from the land we inhabit, to the people who first stewarded this land, to the people gathered in this room and beyond, who pour their time, energy, and hearts into making Fountain Valley a beautiful community. Empower us to wisely steward the blessings we have so that they may be blessings for others. And may our love for this city create ripple effects of love and justice from here to our state, to our nation, to the entire world. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Benson. And to salute to the flag, we'll have Council Member Dan Grenis that will lead it to the flag. Salute.
All right, for those who are able to stand, please stand and pay tribute to the great symbol of our nation and the freedoms it provides. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Grenis. You may be seated. Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, if I could do a brief housekeeping item?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have one council member participating remotely by Zoom. It is Councilmember Constantine. She is asking that council find just cause. She has informed that she is sick and therefore can't participate publicly with the meeting. So we're asking for just cause for her to participate remotely without opening her room up to the public.
Can we get a doctor's note? No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Thank you so much for that little humor, Brandis.
Very little.
Mr. City Clerk, would you please do a roll call?
Councilmember Constantine? Oh. Of course. Pardon me, I have to let her unmute. You should be able to now. There you go. Councilmember Constantine?
Yes, here.
Councilmember Grandis?
Here.
Councilmember Harper?
Here.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chair Canine?
Here.
Mayor, Chair Bowie?
Here.
All members are present?
Thank you so much.
And Mr. Mayor, I'll take it the council is approving the just cause.
Oh, okay. We got clarification. Yes.
Great.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, it's been approved. And I'm required by the Brown Act to ask Councilmember Constantine, is there anybody with you who is over 18 years of age?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Mr. City Clerk, is there any reportable actions from closed session?
I would defer that to the city
Sorry.
attorney.
Yeah, that's what I say, Mr. Attorney. Did I say it differently?
So thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 1, there was no reportable action. Item 2, council voted 5-0 not to join the amicus brief. Item number 3, there was no reportable action. Item number 4, council voted 4-0 to allow the initiation of litigation. Item number 5, there was no reportable action. And item number 6 was, we didn't get to item number 6. That will be continued to the end of the meeting.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. City Clerk, is there any supplemental communications?
We have none.
Okay. Our city attorney, city manager, Maggie Lee, would you please give your update?
Yes, Mayor, City Council, thank you so much. Wanted to inform the community that the Fountain Valley Community Foundation has an upcoming Hall of Fame honors former athletes and teams from Fountain Valley High School and Los Amigos High School who achieve excellence through competition, coaches who have made a difference in the lives of their athletes and supporter of the athletic program. The event will be held on October 11th from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Center at Founders Village at 17967 Bouchard Street. Tickets will be $60 and includes appetizer, dinner, and dessert. For the list of honorees and more information, please visit www.fv-community-foundation.org/fv-hall-of-fame. All of this information will be available on the Fountain Valley Community Foundation.org. Also wanted to remind the community that the city will be hosting, it is. The city is hosting the Monster Mash Bingo Bash. It's a big event for the community on Friday, October 24th, 2025. Music, dinner, drinks, and custom contest. It's $25 per person for all ages. Ticket includes 30 bingo cards, 1 dabber plus dinner plus 1 non-alcoholic drink ticket. Additional cards will be $3 each. Additional dabbers will be $2 each. Alcoholic drinks depends on varies based on price. And dinner is not guaranteed for those who register after October 16th. So we highly encourage you to register that sooner than later. And we also want to thank our sponsor, Memorial Care, for staff to be able to host this event. For more information, you can go ahead and call 714-593-4446. Last but not least, wanted to inform the community that South Coast Air Quality Management District provides a new pilot incentive program, which launched on September 3rd, 2025, called Go Zero. The program offers rebates of up to $4,000 for resident and small businesses to adopt zero-emission heat pump technology for homes and buildings. You can get more information at www.aqmd.org/go-0. And the information will be available on the city website as well. That concludes my update, Mayor.
Great. Thank you so much for your update. So this Thursday, the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce is having a connect and network with our local business community. And it is sponsored by, I think it's the first time I've seen this, sponsored by the Fountain Valley Rotary Club. So it's this Thursday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. At the address of 17272 New Hope Street in Fountain Valley. So if you are excited, want to go out and support our local business, please come out and join the network at night. On October 11th, the fire department is having an open house. So residents of Fountain Valley are invited to attend this year's fire department open house schedule for Saturday, October 11th at Fire Station 1, which is right here on Bouchard, right across from the Barron High School. It's from the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This year, Fire Prevention Week campaign is charged into fire safety, lithium ion in your home. So come and join us and get a tour of the fire station, see a working ambulance along with fire trucks and much more. There will be an area for photo opportunities, games, and prizes, along with free hot dog lunch. You also don't want to miss this out on the Jaw of Life. That one's fun. I've seen that a few times. That is a really fun one. And fire extinguisher demonstrations. So we can't wait to see you there. I didn't see this on the memo here, but I know there's also a former fire police, Kevin Chow, memorial service. Is it private?
It's a private event.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't want to say it if it's private. Okay. All right. And there will be a next town hall meeting reference to should the city of Fountain Valley become a charter city. So please join us to discuss the topic of Fountain Valley becoming a charter city. Fountain Valley is a general law city, which is bound by the state's general law, even with respect to municipal affairs. A charter city is a city that has supreme authority over municipal affairs, taking precedent over a state statute addressing the same topic. So if you're interested, it will be at the Recreational Center on October 18th at 1 p.m. And the Recreational Center, for those who don't know, is right on Brooker Street. Okay, next one. Oh, all right, next one. When I'm reading this, that means that's conclude my term. There's a Year of the Rose Gala on October 18, honoring Mayor Ted Bowie at 5:30 p.m. There will be 5 VIP cocktail hours and legislative receptions. And it's going to be held at the Saigon Performing Arts Center. And so if you're interested, please come enjoy and have fun. Okay, so that conclude my report. So here comes the fun part. So the first one that I'm having the honor to invite John Borak, who is going to do a presentations about the Advisory Committee for Person with Disability Award Program.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. Thanks for having me here tonight. First, I'd like to say it's my honor to follow our new pastor at King of Glory Lutheran Church, Pastor Natalie Benson, to the podium. And tonight I'm here because I'm proud to serve as a chair of the Fountain Valley Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities. And this evening, it's my pleasure to present the honorees for our 2025 awards. Since 2006, these annual awards have recognized our city's individuals and businesses that provide outstanding advocacy, support, and service to persons with disabilities. Some examples of our past honorees include Fountain Valley businesses that employ persons with disabilities, Fountain Valley businesses that are disability friendly, residents who volunteer services to companies who provide services for persons with disabilities, and persons with disabilities who work within the city of Fountain Valley. And we chose the month of October to recognize our recipients since it is National Disability Awareness Month. And at this time, I'd like to invite Mayor Ted Bowie to join me to recognize our honorees.
All right. It's the whole team. You guys should join me too. Come on, Kevin.
We will begin with 2 honorees, each receiving a certificate of appreciation for going above and beyond in providing accommodations for persons with disabilities, beginning with Magnolia Cafe. Do we have a representative from Magnolia Cafe?
By the way, her name is Jessie, and she's one of the best servers if you ever go there.
Wow. Yeah. Actually, we can have the whole family come up here because we're going to be taking some photos in just a second as soon as I read the information about Magnolia Cafe's nomination. So anyone else who'd like to come up, please do so. Okay. Okay, Magnolia Cafe was nominated by Julie Eller, and this is what Julie wrote in their nomination. I'd like to nominate Magnolia Cafe, located at 8989 Warner Avenue. Magnolia Cafe is our local hometown cafe and has served the community of Fountain Valley since around 1979. They have excellent food, prices, and the best service. They are child, teen, adult, senior, and disability friendly. They go above and beyond to accommodate their community. Earlier this year, I had a medical emergency outside of Magnolia Cafe. When I went in for help, the staff sprang into action and showed genuine concern and care. I know they saved my thumb and myself from even greater trauma and damage, and I am eternally grateful. Please honor Patricia and the entire staff at Magnolia Cafe. They deserve it. So congratulations to Magnolia Cafe.
On behalf of John Borak, the community chair, is giving us. You shouldn't say that.
Oh, well, okay.
You're the chair.
So this is an appreciation of going above and beyond and providing accommodations for persons with disabilities in the city of Fountain Valley. So thank you so much for all you do. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next honoree is Our Lady of Guadalupe, represented by Ella, the property manager, also nominated by Julie Eller. Please join us up front. And Julie wrote, I would like to nominate Our Lady of Guadalupe and their staff, located at 17103 Magnolia. This is a community designed for seniors 62 and older and/or persons with disabilities. The staff here are not only professional, but genuinely caring. They go above and beyond to make residents feel safe and cared for. I am always greeted with a smile from the entire staff. Our manager, Ella, assistant manager, Jesus, our maintenance supervisor, Mario, and our porter, Margarita, help keep everything very clean. Their attention to detail and their kindness do not go unnoticed. They go above and beyond, such as when our elevator was down, the entire staff was there to help everyone that needed help up or down the stairs with groceries or whatever was needed. I appreciate the activities that help keep us engaged and connected, whether it's a holiday gathering, monthly birthday recognitions, or a game day. There's always something to look forward to every month. Congratulations to Our Lady of Guadalupe.
All right, everyone. Squeeze it. Yeah, maybe squeeze in a little tight. Can you move over a little so you get it? Sure. All right, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Our final honoree this evening is receiving an award for his exemplary service and enthusiastic spirit. I would like to invite Jeff Acker, nominated by Kayla Galino, to please join us up front. Jeff? Jeff has worked at the Hyundai headquarters in Fountain Valley for 20 years. He works in the mailroom and delivers mail, boxes, and newspapers, and scans packages. Jeff always greets his coworkers with a positive attitude and a smile every day. When asked about his role at Hyundai, Jeff said, "It's a nice job." Jeff continues to work at Hyundai and is frequently involved in community events, such as attending the Fountain Valley Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities dances and concerts in the park, as well as competing with the local Orange County swim team with Special Olympics. I've seen Jeff swim. He's a very good swimmer. He may be even a better dancer, because I've seen him dance at our dances as well. Does a great job. So congratulations, Jeff. Thank you for being a valued member of the Fountain Valley community.
There we go. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Big smile, Jeff. Yeah. Love it.
Thank you. Congratulations to all our recipients and businesses. Thank you for your commitment to the Fountain Valley community and dedication to persons with disabilities. We appreciate your efforts. I do have to mention the reason I'm wearing a t-shirt this evening under my jacket. It's a Beatles t-shirt, and Jeff is a fellow Beatles fan, so I wore that shirt tonight in his honor. I always play Beatles at our advisory committee dances when Jeff is there, because he loves them like I do. Also wanted to mention that if anyone would like to nominate a business or an individual for an award in the future, our 2026 nomination forms will be available via the City of Fountain Valley's website in January 2026. I'd also like to take a moment to thank all of our Fountain Valley Advisory Committee for Persons with Disability members who are in attendance this evening. Would you please stand? And in closing, I'd like to mention that another of our committee's functions is to host those bi-monthly dances and social clubs for adults with disabilities, engaging our disabled community in much-needed and fun social activities. Our next social club will take place on Friday, November 7th at 7 p.m., and our next dance will take place on Friday, December 5th at 7 o'clock p.m., both at the center at Founders Village. And if you've never been to one of our dances, you're all certainly invited, more than welcome to come. They're wonderful events, just a real community spirit and watching everybody engage through music. At our last dance, we had nearly 180 folks in attendance, and so it was wonderful. Our committee would like to extend that invitation to all of you, and additional information can be found on the city website and on social media. So thank you all so much for your time this evening, and a special thank you to the City of Fountain Valley for your support of persons with disabilities. Thanks so much.
Okay, the next one I have is the for business recognitions for. I have a presentation for the LA Fitness. Is a representative for LA Fitness is here? Are they here? Rick, they're not here? Nope. Okay. I'll skip to the next one.
They confirmed, but I guess
confirmed?
they didn't show up.
Okay, no problem. All right, we'll skip that one then. We'll probably present on the next meeting. The next one I have is the business recognitions for Lamppost Pizza. Is John's here? His representative. Are they here? John's here. Okay. All right. So Lamppost Pizza is a franchise. Was established by the Barrow family in 1976 and has expanded across California and Nevada. The Fountain Valley location opened its door in 1986, quickly becoming a cherished gathering spot for the community. For more than 30 years, Lamppost Pizza has played an active role in supporting local events and fostering connections among Fountain Valley residents. Please joining us to accept the award tonight are the owner, Johnny and Shelby Bordens. And I'm part of the Fountain Valley Rotary Club, and we, on behalf of the Rotarian, thank you. You do so much for the Rotary Club as well. So I want to appreciate, thank both of you. All right, please come up, and I'll have my colleague please join me to recognize them. So on behalf of the city, we want to recognize you, Lamppost Pizza, for your 39 years of service. The city of Fountain Valley acknowledges and appreciates your unwavering commitment to excellence over 39 years of dedicated service to our community. Thank you for your commitment, invaluable contributions once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And the mic is yours if you don't like to say a few words. You don't have to, but the mic is yours.
Talk about a sale.
Lamppost is a great place to sell pizza.
All right, the next one I have a proclamations recognizing the month of September as National Potluck Month. And it goes as whereas the Pacifica Institute has organized the Fountain Valley Community Potluck to bring people together in friendship and unity, fostering connections among residents from all walks of life. And whereas the event held at Miles Square Park celebrated the theme, United Within Community, encouraging neighbors to share food, culture, and conversations in an atmosphere of goodwills and mutual respect. And whereas the community potluck also aimed to highlight the power of collaborating and kindness while aspiring to set a Guinness World Records for the largest community potluck, showcasing the spirit of inclusiveness that defined Fountain Valley. And now, therefore, I, Mayor Ted Bowie, do hereby proclaim September 2025 Community Potluck Day. And I would like to invite the representative of Pacifica Institute and all their organizing community members to come up to receive these publications. And it has been a very, very fun event. There was a lot of people coming out, and as to my understanding, I think we pulled the America's largest potluck day last week. Over 2,166 participants. Am I correct? So congratulations, and please come in and be recognized. And I'll ask my colleague to please come and join me.
It was a potluck. You were supposed to bring your own. Congratulations.
Dr. Booth. Landon, how are you,
Now get in there, Mustafa.
I'm always in the back.
Yeah, that's right. There we go.
Okay, let's have a big smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Excellent. Good job. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right. 2,000 people in the park. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. You were there, right? Yes. Dr. Do you want to say a good word? You're welcome to. Thank you.
Well, one thing that I want to say is...
Wait, let me turn on...
Yeah, yes. Oh, thank you. One thing I want to say is, well, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. The city's support was unlimited, and the county's support too. I mean, we really felt it, and it wouldn't happen without you, so thank you. Also, Mayor, we mentioned Pacifica, but we have many other organizers. I just want to make sure that we recognize them too, and I accept it. I actually hold this as a neutral party because I'm a volunteer of Pacifica. So I accepted it instead of our CEO Mustafa. But we had City of Fountain Valley, Chamber of Commerce, OC Interfaith Council, Huntington Beach Interfaith Network. Yeah, I mentioned Chamber of Fountain Valley. Anybody else? Anything else? Yeah, I think. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
You also have the organizing community member Debbie Kelly.
Yes,
yes. She played a role in organizing it. Thank you, Debbie, for your work.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
And of course, you had this amazing support from OC Park.
Yes.
That they were part of the supporting the event, and of course, Supervisor Nguyen, because it's her district. It was held at her in her park.
Yes, exactly. And Senator Tony Strickland. Also, last thing before I leave is we are planning to do this every year. So next year it will be even better. So please consider joining.
Well, there you go. So hopefully you hold the title for the Guinness World Record for the world largest potluck day.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you.
All right. So next order of the business is we have a presentation by our Public Work Director Scott Smith, reference to U.S.-Japan Sister City Summit recap. Do we need to give him a few minutes to clear the room? Okay.
Great, thank you. Honorable Mayor, council members, thank you for this opportunity to provide a recap of the Sister City Summit And before I start, I'm going to have to apologize because I know that I'll probably butcher some of the names of the cities and people along the way, which will be extremely disappointing to my mother because I'm half Japanese, and so I'll probably hear from her later. So Sister Cities, let's start at a real high level. Sister Cities was founded by President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1956 with the intent of promoting peace and understanding through mutual respect, cultural, economic, and technical exchanges between communities worldwide. And really, Sister Cities are an agreement by the high officials between two different cities in different countries. So attending the summit, there's some primary purpose we wanted to address, and these are them on the screen. First off, we wanted to assess if a sister city program can add value to the city of Fountain Valley community, opportunities to promote Fountain Valley to the international community, and build upon successes of some of the businesses we already have here. Also, obtain perspectives on the benefits of a sister city program through student exchange programs, tourism, sports exchange programs, and then also, lastly, learn how nonprofit and other organizations can help. That support is so critical, and we have some key players within our city. Some of them are listed right there: the school district, Kiwanis, as well as the Community Foundation. So the Sister City Summit was held in Izumi Sano City. And so if you look at the maps there on the right and the left, Osaka is the prefecture, which is like a state. So on the far right, it gives you reference on where Osaka is to Tokyo, which is on the island of Honshu, which is the biggest island in Japan. And then Izumi Sano City, if you look at the center image, is a little bit south of Osaka City, right next to Kansai Airport. Attendance was 562 participants. 96 U.S. cities were represented, 48 Japanese cities were represented, and 15 other countries were represented. The theme of the summit was celebrating our legacies and empowering our future. It was really a celebration and of the 170th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Japan and U.S. And as you can see on the screen, I have a lot of bullets there, but it was hosted to address all of those. Part of it was to memorialize and reaffirm the friendship, but also honor citizen diplomats and a number of other things. In this photo, you can see those of us that attended. There is in the top left corner, that's with the mayor of Izumi Sano City, the host city. And next to him is our mayor, as well as Vice Mayor Kunin, Councilmember Constantine, Councilmember Grandis. Maggie's kind of hiding there, but she's there right next to him, as well as former mayor, council member, and President Fountain Valley Kiwanis president, Steve Nagel, and his wife, Nina Nagel. Quick note, if you look at the photo all the way to the bottom right, you see Vice Mayor Kunin with Henri Akagawa. She was a student that was at the summit, and they had a great conversation, and we were able to talk about her experiences while she was in the States, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see her again. I think there was talk about maybe her visiting Fountain Valley.
Scott, if I can add, in the first image as well, we have Councilmember Constantine partner Antonio also join us for the conference.
That's right. I'm sorry. Antonio's way in the back behind Steve. Good catch. There was a number of attendees from California. This is a photo of all the attendees. So there was a lot of different summit sessions. These are some notable ones. In particular, you had the economics partnership where we identified several companies that had long-standing relationships between Japan and the U.S. First off was Kikkoman. They built a factory, and they were the first Japanese company to open a factory in the United States back in Wisconsin in 1972. It was really interesting to hear that and the stories on how that worked and how it really met the intent of what Sister Cities were as developing those relationships. Another one that was more newer was Origami Sake, and so that was opened up in 2022 in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Apparently I learned that Arkansas is the rice capital of the states, and I did not know that, and hence why they wanted to do sake brewery there. There was also sports diplomacy, where they talked about something that I had heard about but really didn't learn a lot about, but I'm interested now is tech ball, which is a mixture of volleyball, table tennis, and soccer. I'm a soccer player, so it obviously appeals to me, but man, those guys have skills, and it's becoming more and more popular, and apparently they're hosting tournaments, and there's a lot of cultural tourism that ties to that. I'd also like to slow down here and also recognize the youth program building, which there was a lot of discussion on that. Not going to get totally in the details, but what it reminded me of is if we all remember back to the universally accessible playground opening. Great opportunity where we had the community there, and Rob Frizzell did a wonderful job, as well as all the other speakers, but he really pointed out and talked about a story that how sports and play draws everybody together. That's the same thing with a lot of these cultural programs. It kind of all those stigmas and beliefs are dropped away, and it's just a matter of meeting and getting along and opening the young people's, the future leaders, an idea of how different we aren't. This was an unexpected surprise, but very much welcomed and pointed out right away by Councilmember Grandis to our table. There was the woman there is handing out a Texas, I believe it's Texas Rangers jersey to the mayor of Asumisano City, and it is a homegrown individual. So that's a Kyle Higashioka, and it was really nice to see that without even having any foreknowledge of that he's being recognized, and Fountain Valley's being recognized indirectly. So there's several cities that we've been speaking to. Some of them already have existing relationships with other cities, so we're learning from them, but they also are interested in having a relationship with the city that's a little bit more engaged, that maybe has a little more to offer. And Sakura City is one of those cities. I'm gonna name three of them. Sakura City is near our size, and we actually had an opportunity to meet with them at the conference, and then there was a contingency that visited them afterwards. So at the conference, we were able to not only talk to them during the conference, but we were able to share a meal together. And if you look at the slide on the left, we have a number of council members on the right side, as well as on the left side is essentially the first three individuals were the representative of Sakura City. The first individual closest to the photo was their interpreter. So we did need an interpreter, but it was a great time to have conversation and just in an environment that allows for a lot more open dialogue.
Oh, wait, before you go off this slide, I need people to understand in this photo, those are not seats. Your legs are straight out. And the only way that I fit in there is I had to dislocate both of my legs from my hips to be able to get down there and sit. And then you kind of sit crossly. I just wished Rob Frizzell was there. That would have been perfect. But yeah, that was a traditional Japanese dinner that, again, my hips still hurt from that.
I'll take that blame because I told the staff from Sakura, I was like, I would like our elected official to experience the culture, not realizing that restaurant.
Oh, I think you totally realized it.
I appreciate you bringing that up because I was one of the people that found out how inflexible I am and was suffering too. So as I had mentioned, there was some trips that were made to further investigate the given cities, in this particular case, Sakura City, where they visited a sake brewery. And you can see from the photo, it's not our whole group, but about half of our group. And as the council members will have an opportunity and the city manager talk at the end of the presentation, I wasn't there, but from what I understand, it was a great visit and a great opportunity to talk about several things. Same thing, here's one with the rice farm. Obviously makes sense, rice farm, sake brewery. Another city we're speaking with is Heikkinen City, and we've actually had an opportunity. Vice Mayor Kanin was able to participate. We were all able to join him on a Zoom meeting call with Mayor Koike, and it was really great for me to hear about how rich and deep our history is from Vice Mayor Kanin with the Japanese Americans that were living here, and he had explained it as well as given a good story about how many of the schools in our area are named after Japanese Americans. So we have a I'm sorry. There's also Kaga City, and we're talking with them too. This is a promotional video of Heikkinen City, and we'll watch a couple minutes of this, and then I'll continue with my presentation. So as you can see, they host a lot of events. It's a great opportunity for us to have that exchange opportunities through those events and other opportunities. The question is, so why Sister Cities matter for Fountain Valley? It really is an opportunity to invest in Fountain Valley's future. Sister Cities programs represent more than just international friendship. It's an investment in educational excellence, in cultural tourism, economic development, and as I stated earlier, the development of the next generation of global leaders in Fountain Valley. We have top-rated schools in our city, and this can enrich the students' experiences through these international partners, as well as the economic impact we can generate through cultural tourism and new business opportunities. And once again, the community pride. We have a rich and diverse heritage, which will allow us to build upon that. Also build upon some strategic advantages that we have with the businesses here. We have some very well-established, great international companies that have called Fountain Valley their home. And so we'd like to take advantage of that, as well as maximize our opportunities with that. Fountain Valley has a sports park expansion, which is a great location for whether it be sports tournaments or cultural festivals or celebrations. So we attended the steps of this whole process. We attended the summit in September 2025. We're in the evaluation period, and if we continue to or decide to participate and move forward with the Sister Cities and going to join the Sister Cities group and have a Sister City, then there'd be a program development and also the desire to launch in 2027 in our 70th anniversary. Moving forward, this would be the advisory group, the working group that would help us make that decision. A lot of names on there next to the bullets, and we feel that all these partners would be a great addition to help us to come to that conclusion and help guide how we would do that. And the goal is to coordinate a meeting in early November. So the community, we want to maximize the existing partnerships that we have. And once again, pointing out once again, because it's a situation where we're so fortunate to have these type of partnerships. And so being able to pull everybody together and have them contribute and really take advantage of this is something that is not every city has. So along the way, we have been learning from other local cities. The 3 cities on the top in green are cities that we've already met with, when we talked to. So we've learned lessons there, and then we have 4 cities underneath it that we're planning on meeting with. One as early as this week, I think tomorrow or the next day. So as I stated earlier and throughout the presentation, the categories listed on the slide are our focus areas. And right now, as I'm nearing the end of my presentation, I'd feel remiss if I didn't express my appreciation to be able to participate on this given opportunity to go to the summit. While attending the summit and during various interactions, I was able to recall a lot of my own personal fond cultural exchanges. As I stated earlier, I'm half Japanese, and so I had a lot of visiting relatives growing up, right? So not necessarily a cultural exchange program, it was a family cultural exchange program. And it certainly was a lot more before Tokyo Disneyland was built. And so I was able to get that exposure, as well as my parents had a common practice of hosting international exchange students. When you're blessed with that type of opportunity, it's my experience, it's my belief that you get a chance to truly live and experience hospitality, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and empathy for others. It changes your point of view, and it impacts you for a lifetime. So you don't have to join the sister cities to do that, but it's a means that's so well organized and really allows for those programs to be set up, and with good partners you can make that happen. And really furthering their mission of promoting peace through understanding and through mutual respect. There are some grant opportunities. One we already realized that I believe we've announced back in March that is a great thing, and we can build upon that. So there's also, staff will be looking at opportunities through grants.gov, as well as the US-Japan Global Impact Grant. With that concludes my presentation, and I open up the opportunity to any of the council members to ask questions or also provide input on your experiences on the Sister City Summit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott, for the presentations. I will kindly open the floor for any inputs or comments from my colleague. Professor Mercani?
Sure, I'll go ahead and start. Yeah, we had a great time. I'm very privileged to be able to attend this. I want to especially thank City Manager Maggie Lee. This was really her effort and her push to get us to go, and it wasn't easy. I mean, we had a 12-hour flight to get there, 16-hour time difference. It was hot, it was humid, and we walked, and we walked, and we walked, you know? And it took physical effort, but some of the takeaways for me, number one, I had also the privilege of traveling with my wife, and we'd never been out of the country together, so how special is that, right? You don't get to do that every day. And when we're in Japan, I think I tried to immerse myself as much as possible. You know, Osaka is not what I would call a touristy city. It's a well-populated city. It's basically no English spoken or written, and so you have to adapt. But it was also a special time because there's a celebration. There were anniversaries. There were a 70-year anniversary of the whole concept of bringing peace between the U.S. and Japan. Who thought that could even be possible, even 10 years after it was formed in the 50s? But I think it changed me in a positive way. I think I see life a little bit differently because it was out of the country, which was nice to get a break from our country. Sometimes, it's good to get a little respite. And the people are so kind and quiet and respectful of one another. Very, very, very much needed for some of us. I hope we can continue on. I'm definitely interested in helping this move forward. I still think we have a lot of details to work out. It's a bit fuzzy, but I think we're off to the right start. And again, thanks to everyone who made this happen. And last, I just want to thank you, Scott. You also acted as sort of as our lead as we were navigating trains and hopping on getting to the airport. So Thanks so much for that. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Vice Mayor Canine, for your input. Councilmember Grandis?
Yeah, I also want to thank staff for putting this together. This is definitely something I do support. I think it's something that when I first went into it, I was skeptical. You know, is this something we really need? Is it important? But after being there and understanding a lot of the advantages, there were a lot of sister cities that, you know, supported each other after natural disasters too. You know, the earthquake in 2012, 3/11, 2012, they call it, their big day is 3/11, ours is 9/11, but theirs was 3/11, and how the sister cities supported each other. I want to thank my wife too, who came with me on this trip. That was a big ask. I will say that when we were in Osaka, it sounds really glamorous, but we were in conferences all day long, you know, and it was meeting after meeting after meeting. It was a lot of travel to get there. Afterwards, we went up, some of us went up to Sakioka, not Sakioka, I'm sorry, Sakura, sorry. Sakioka is the farm here. Sakura, where I met with the mayor and I met with their locals, and that's the potential sister city that's our size. We went and saw a sake factory where they do it the same way they did over 100 years ago. Most sake production is not done that way anymore, and it was very interesting. We went to a farm, a rice farm, and that was great. Then we also went to Tokyo, and I can honestly say that I never want Tokyo to be our sister city, because you talk about crowded. Oh my gosh, it was overwhelmingly crowded. Just getting to the train station to the airport on the way home, it was so crowded that they had to turn escalators off, and you carry your luggage 3 flights of stairs just to get to the train platform in 95-degree heat. And there was just so many people. I can't even describe what that feels. And I grew up in New York, out on Long Island, not the city, but I went to New York City, and even that's not like Tokyo. I mean, Tokyo is crowded. Anyway, but again, like Vice Mayor Canine said, the people are very gracious, they're kind, they're considerate, and I think that's something we can learn from in a lot of ways. But I think it's something in the future that is going to be beneficial to us. Thank God for Google Translate. That was very helpful. Great new device. And I want to thank Steve and Nina, who traveled with us a lot on the trip, and the rest of those that went. It was a good team building as well, and that part was probably my favorite. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Councilmember Grandis, for your input. Councilmember Constantine, would you like to chime in?
Sure. Yes, I just wanted to say it was really an amazing experience, and I want to thank Maggie and Scott and all of city staff who put this on. It was nice to be somewhere really, really different. The people were very kind, tremendously helpful. I got lost a bunch, and especially on the trains. And you see the people on their phones on occasion, but it's not social media or wasting time, you know, quite frankly, like we do here. They're more resourceful to look at the train schedules and that sort of thing. So that was very eye-opening. And I'm making some changes, but I do support this, and it's very interesting. And like Vice Mayor Canine said, we need to kind of get the bugs out and get some more information. But all in all, it was a great team and very enjoyable. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, first, I want to start thanking my colleague, Council Member Patrick Harper, because we have to have a designated survivor, just in case we don't make it back home. But thank God we all made it back home safely. On the question is whether we want a sister city or not. The idea on its face, it's a great idea. always thinking outside the box. How can we expand economically, education-wise, sport, but we must not kidding ourselves into this aspect. What I mean by this is we have to look what is going to be beneficial for our city and how is that going to be impact for our community. Themselves, whoever the sister city will be in the future, they will look at that as well. What benefit of value are we going to bring to them? That's what's going to make the bond. So we have to look at their needs, and we have to look at our needs. Do we have a match? That is the key there. Now, I want to ask, can you go back to the slide earlier? You bringing up the community partnership slide? Right there. Talk about school. I did not see Huntington Beach School District because as we were in there at the seminar, as you could see during the exchange program, primarily it's in the high school. It starts right there. I think there's a reason for that because lower than high school, I think there's an issue with parental and the parents and the child. So I'm hoping that we could have that dialogue with Huntington Beach School District because obviously we all know that the Barron, which is right here, belongs to their district. Have them in communication, have a dialogue with them. What is their level of interest? Because I think we need their support. Am I correct on that one?
They will also be part of our advisory group.
Okay.
And so.
Perfect.
Yes.
I didn't see that on the slide. That's why I brought that up.
Don't forget Los Amigos High School. Too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Lobos.
Thank you for bringing those points. And that's Garden Grove Unified School District. So please bring them on board and have a discussion with them to see their level of interest because we definitely will need their support on this one.
We agree. So they're part of the conversation as well.
Okay, perfect. At the end of the experience, I will not travel with. I will never travel without Scott if he hasn't put to go because he was a good tour guide. He's much more helpful than me to this way, and he knows how to get himself around. He was really good with. I don't know how he does it, but he knows how to get himself around. So I was.
It's in the engineer blood.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to travel with him, and it was a great experience. Other than that, that was my experience, and I look forward to the input from the working group as we work toward with the advisory group. And
We appreciate that. There's an understanding that, City Council is expressing that we continue to evaluate and bring it back based on the feedback from the advisory group and so forth.
okay, that's it. That's my report on that.
If I may, former Mayor Nagel is here. I don't know if he would like to say anything.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Mr. Mayor, I should say, I'm sorry. And the rest of the council and also Kim on the Zoom call. It was our pleasure, Nina and I, to go with the city, being part of the Kiwanis Club and maybe a way of bringing nonprofits into this and to help pay for this if it should go forward. But it was a great experience going to the conference. It opened our eyes to a lot of different things that contribute to success. And the cities over there are spotless. Trains are on time to the second. We had a little faux pas one day where we had to go back to where we left our things in the safe and then try to make it to Tokyo by the next morning at 9:30. We told we were going to be there at 9:33. We thought, okay, that'll be good. We got there exactly at 9:33 on the bullet train, and we couldn't have asked for a more comfortable way of traveling, and yet almost at the speed of an airliner. So anyway, but I do believe that sports is a way of bringing this to our area and also to theirs, but also the education and maybe even music could be part of this, where we have vocal groups that may want to go or instrumental groups from our high schools and maybe even middle schools, but also getting the community churches involved as sponsorships for bringing the Sister City program to something that we could enjoy here in Fountain Valley, but also take our culture to them. And they're very grateful and make us feel comfortable. They are a lot better at English than I am at Japanese, and I believe we couldn't have made it without their help and getting around the country, but they made it very pleasant because of their hospitality. But I support this, and hopefully council will come to a decision that works for everybody, for them and also Fountain Valley. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your input. Okay, moving on. Mr. City Clerk, is there any request to speak on unscheduled matter?
Yes, we have one request to speak.
Okay. And
J-Town.
okay.
Hello, everybody. It's been a while. First, I'd like to say thanks for letting me speak. Really, thanks. And thanks for the city for fixing the manhole covers that had turned into like potholes on the roads. That's really much better now that they've filled those in. I suggest at Ward and Talbert and Ward and Ellis that maybe somebody from traffic could look at the lights because there's so many accidents there now, that more than there ever have been before. And maybe if they made the yellow lights last longer, people would be less inclined to run into each other, because it's been really bad there. Regarding Tokyo overcrowding, it occurred to me when you were talking about that it probably started with high-density housing and ADUs. So we might want to consider them a sister city after all.
Looks like we have one more request to speak. Libby?
Okay.
I just wanted to speak about that presentation on the sister city in Japan. I was really impressed. I would love for our city to be a sister city with a city in Japan. I was there earlier this year before it got so horribly hot and before it was as crowded as what you were describing. But it's a beautiful place, amazing things that we can learn from. Some of the museums were unbelievable in Tokyo. But the thing I would love to have here, and is never going to happen, of course, is the transit system that works perfectly throughout the entire country. Nobody needs a car there because everything works precisely on time, is interconnected between the trains outside the cities to the bullet trains to the subways in the city to the buses, all interconnected and wonderful. And that's the thing I wish we could bring here. But nonetheless, there are so many great things there that we could bring here, and I look forward to us being a sister city with a Japan city. Thank you.
I have no other requests to speak on unscheduled matters.
All right. Thank you for speaking up on the unscheduled matter. And do we have anybody want to speak on scheduled matter?
We have a few requests to speak on item number 6.
Item number 6. Okay. All right, so consent calendar 1 to 3 will be approved simultaneously with one motion unless separate action or discussion is requested.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, just to make it clear, since we have a council member that is not present inside the council chamber, we will not be using the typical voting method. It'll be roll call.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Okay, do we have a motion
Well,
on the floor?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to pull item number 3, but I'll go ahead and move items number 1 and 2.
Okay, so Councilmember Constantine want to put item number 3, and she made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Councilmember Constantine, the floor is yours.
Hold
Sure.
on one second.
Oh, I'm sorry, we got to vote for it.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye on items 1 and 2.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Items 1 and 2 pass 5-0.
Thank you. All right, Councilmember Constantine, the floor is yours.
Sure. Item number 3 is approve a CPI increase for Republic Services, trash collection rates for residential and commercial service. I have to say, I'm going to vote no on this, and I'll tell you why. Not long ago, Republic, maybe a portion of them, I'm not sure on that one, but I do know what we experienced. For a number of weeks, our community was very much challenged because there was a sympathy strike based on the strike that was happening in Massachusetts. This should never impact our customers here. So with that, my vote will be a no on this one.
All right, thank you.
I actually, oh, sorry, go ahead.
You
Well,
didn't
and it's
ask.
not just that. Let me clarify too. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. I forgot to say too. I'm not in agreement with the increase, quite frankly, and it's a lot to ask of our residents. Thank you.
Okay, which is good. You have an opinion on that. I just want to ask our city attorney, reference to the CPI. Is this appropriate because it is tied into the existing contract, or is this outside the boundary of the contract?
No, this is within the existing contract, and it's within the existing Prop 218 hearing, but according to the contract, council does have the ultimate discretion on any increases. But it is provided for in the contract. They do get CPI increases according to their contract, and the Prop 218 hearing has covered CPI increases with everything being subject to council approval.
If you're saying that, have we talked to Republic if they would consider it wait into next year because there might be some potential increase next year as well? And what was the response?
I'd have to defer to the Public Works Director.
Oh, okay, great.
Mayor Bowie, yes, staff did bring up the fact that there may be some other items that are coming up in the future regarding waste, and Republic Services declined to postpone the CPI increase, which obviously is a business, that's their choice. There is a Republic Service representative here if you wanted to get into the reasons why. I can't speak for their business.
Okay, well, I think it'd be great to have them the opportunity to respond if that help, to clear up some of the concern. Why we need to have the increase now instead of next year. Perhaps you could help clarify some of the concern.
Yes, hi, I'm Debbie Killey. I'm the Municipal Sales Manager for Republic Services and servicing the City of Fountain Valley. The increase is a part of the contract. It covers more than just what that future increase will be, and that future increase is for the disposal cost at the landfill. The landfill right now is considering raising the cost to dispose there, which is not included in our current contract. Our current contract is CPI only, and it doesn't include that. So our corporate office, our management, our leadership team had just said that the normal January CPI is just a normal part of doing business in our contract, and that future potential increase, that's outside the scope of our contract right now. So that was the thought process behind it.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe my colleague,
questions?
Councilman Grenis, had a question.
Yeah, no, I don't have a question for you. It's a statement. This is a contractual agreement that we've agreed upon in the past. This isn't like coming out of left field or some extra fee that wasn't anticipated, wasn't approved, I believe, unanimously by council in the past. So to change your mind now is, and blame it on a 1 week issue that was 3 days, sorry, not even a week, 3 days. I was affected for a week
I know
because
you
they
were.
missed my spot, but that's okay. It wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't, it was a union issue. It was not something that was avoidable. And quite candidly, it was a minor inconvenience in the scheme of things. And to vote no now because of that is petty, and it's not part of what we already contractually agreed to do. So we must do the right thing here.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman Grandis. Councilman Constantine, did you have something to say?
Yes, I do. I want to say our residents,
I can't
a number
hear.
of them were
But I-
impacted for a few weeks, not just, a couple of days. And I did vote no last time too. Maybe I was in the minority. I did vote no though. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in? Okay. The only thing I have to say is that it's correct that you had to go through a tough period, and our city was disrupted because you had a labor cost increase, right, through the labor negotiations, and so you had a cost on that, and so basically you're saying that you have another cost now, which is a disposal cost increase from the land. So, to me, I think for any business, when you have costs, multiple area, and it would be not right for us not to support those costs, because how any business can continue to do business if they have cost after cost, it gets to a point that they can't operate anymore. So for me, it's aligned with the contract. It's not something new like Councilmember Grandis has stated earlier. It's within the contract. And just for the public, can you tell what is the CPI increase cost entail to dollars for those who don't know? Give and take roughly.
Yes, it's going to be $1.54 difference from $30.73 to $32.27 for resident, and then for seniors, it's from 26 and 94 cents to 28 and 28 cents, and a difference of $1.34. Seniors are 62 and older.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, I didn't bring that paper.
Okay, it's okay. Well, at least our city manager is prepared, so thank you for that. To me, the cost is not that significant. Good gracious, these days a cup of coffee is way more than that. So I think it's prudent to continue the CPI increase, and besides, Republic Service has been really, they really support the community. I've seen them go out, educate the public, and when there's any event, they're here for the community, this community. So I've seen over the years the service that you provide to a community and your outreach to the public. It's amazing. So I continue to support. I don't know how my other colleagues feel, but that's my input.
I'd like to move item number 3.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to move a second.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have Mr. City Clerk, please do a roll call.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'm opposed.
Item number 3 passes 4-1.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, the next order of the business for the day is administrative items. And because we have quite a few guests, or I should say resident in the room, if it's okay with my colleague, I'd like to move item number 6, so we could get that items out of the way, so they don't have to wait so long for that item.
Mr. Mayor, I oppose.
You oppose to move?
And I'll tell you why, because especially we have our 6-month strategic objectives. That's always a very, very informative presentation that the audience needs to hear the information, quite frankly. I mean, why wouldn't we want them to hear it?
Okay, so we have, I'm proposing that we move item number 6 to be here first, but we have a council member, Constantine, that's opposing moving the items. Do we have another person who wants to oppose this as well, or do we have someone who wants to support move the item number 6 so our audience doesn't have to wait?
Mayor Bowie, I also support moving it up. You've been waiting patiently. There's many in the chamber, and I think that's just a courtesy to our people. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know. I think items number 4 and 5 are pretty riveting, and I can't imagine they would want to. I think they're going to stay for it anyway. But I'll move it to. I'll agree with moving 6 up.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I mean, it's just, I know there's a consensus here, but our strategic planning meetings are very, very informative.
I agree with you, but I think that if the public, if at their pleasure, if they feel that they want to stay, no one's preventing them not to stay, right? It's their choice. But for those who might have family waiting at home, or the apple pie is way in the oven, I don't know.
The ice cream's melted.
Yeah, so I'll leave that to their choice. If they want to stay, they're more than welcome to. And if they want to, if they want to leave, it's their choice.
right.
Councilmember Harper, you okay with it moving? Okay, so we have a majority moving item number 6. All right, let's get started with the item number 6. The item number 6 is consideration of resolution setting forth the City Council official position opposing Proposition 50, legislative congressional amendment regarding congressional redistricting, presentation by our City Attorney, Mr. Colin Byrne. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At the previous City Council meeting, a request was made and seconded that staff bring back a resolution expressing opposition to Proposition 50. The following summary of Proposition 50 is taken verbatim from the California Legislative Analyst's Office. Congressional redistricting in California. So state legislatures draw congressional district maps in most states, but some states use commissions to do this job. Before 2010, the California legislature drew the state's congressional district maps. In 2010, California voters gave this job to an independent commission known as the California Citizens Redistricting Commission. The commission includes 14 members, 5 Democratic members, 5 Republican members, and 4 members who are not registered with either of those political parties. When the commission draws new congressional district maps, it must follow federal and state laws. For example, state law requires, among other things, the commission to avoid splitting up neighborhoods or local communities of interest to the extent possible. State law also prohibits the commission from considering political parties, current office holders, or people running for office when it draws the maps. Prop 50 makes 2 proposals. First, use legislatively drawn congressional district maps until after the next census. Proposition 50 replaces California's current congressional district maps with new legislatively drawn maps. The total number of districts would not change. Prop 50's maps must follow federal law, but they are not required to follow the state requirements placed on the commission. The state would use Prop 50's maps for congressional elections starting in 2026. The state would use these maps until the commission draws new district maps following the 2030 census. Second portion of Prop 50, Proposition 50 asks the U.S. Congress to change federal law and propose an amendment to the U.S. Constitution to require redistricting be done by fair, independent, and nonpartisan redistricting commissions nationwide. This item is on the agenda for council discussion. And proposed for council consideration is a resolution expressing opposition to Proposition 50.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Attorney, for reminding us about the Proposition 50. I'll go ahead and open the floor. Or first I should ask our city clerk, is there any public comment? I think you said there's a few earlier, right?
Yeah, we have about 10 people that wish to speak.
Okay, maybe perhaps we should hear the speaker before our comments.
Actually, I'd like to make some comments first before we hear from the speakers.
Okay.
So, first off, I do not believe, it doesn't matter if you're yes on 50 or no on 50, in my opinion. This is not a city issue. This should not be brought up here. I'm very unhappy that we are taking the proposals a no position. It should have been a yes or no position that we've taken. So it's very biased. This is not going to change anyone's mind. So this is just a very divisive issue. And we are a nonpartisan council. And one thing that I am most proud of this council up till tonight, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that it goes in the right direction. One of the things I'm most proud of is that we have, in my almost 5 years on council, remain nonpartisan. And that's important. Because if you ask, I would guess 80% of our residents or more what political party we all are, most won't know. You go to other cities, oh yeah, they know. But that's what's the beauty of Fountain Valley is that we are nonpartisan, and we should remain nonpartisan. So I'm not even going to argue the merits of whether yes on 50 or no on 50. It doesn't matter. We should stay the heck out of it. We're responsible for roads. We're responsible for sewers, exciting stuff like that. We're not responsible for what happens in an election. And we should allow our residents to make their own decisions. And again, this will do absolutely nothing. I don't understand the purpose of even bringing this here. It's not going to change anybody's mind. Those that are yes are going to be yes, those that are no are going to be no, and those that are undecided are going to make up their own minds, not what, considering what a resolution from the city is. So I would ask our council members, stay in our lane, stay nonpartisan, and let's let the residents, they're smart, let them make their own decisions.
All right. Okay, so for those who comes in and make your positions or your statement, I would ask you refrain from any reaction, whether it's positive or negative. Reason bring forward is I don't want to discourage any speaker, or because everyone has the opportunity to speak up, and now is their time. You might not have anyone tonight that is going to be against it, but I just want to make sure that no one gets discouraged or by anyone's actions. Okay, Mr. City Clerk, would you please call the speaker who wants to speak tonight?
And just as a reminder for those speaking, you have 3 minutes, and over City Manager Lee's right shoulder, there's a TV. When I call on you, you will see your name. It will show a countdown timer. Once you get to 3 minutes, your time is up. So, with that being said, first speaker is Jay Town.
Can't see the timer. I can't see that far. Well, y'all just changed my purpose of my speech dramatically, but I'm just going to do it anyway, just because I already wrote it, and you're just going to have to listen. So, argument to oppose Proposition 50. I wonder, if you take away my right to have my vote count, isn't that the same as taking away my right to vote? I believe that it is. Every 10 years after the census, a bipartisan citizens commission, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 others, draw our voting districts. That's we the people. Now, some legislators, not independent, not necessarily well-intentioned, want to take that power away and redraw districts for their own party's benefit. I don't care which party it is. That's not fair to all the people. That's not we the people, that's we the politicians. California has voted more than 50% Democratic since at least 2018. Sure, proposition might pass since it favors Democrats, but what happens when Republicans regain control and change it back? Then your vote might not count either, so be careful what you ask for. Power always swings back. And I must ask, why is the city of Fountain Valley even involved in this state issue? We, the people, will vote on Proposition 50 on November 4th. It's not right for the city council, people in positions of authority, to show your personal preferences and try to influence voters. That looks a lot like election tampering. And I'm surprised the city attorneys even allowed this to be on the agenda. What does Fountain Valley gain by weighing in on such a divisive issue? Taking a side will only alienate half of our community and hurt your own reelection chances. In 2018, we were 39.34% Republican, 29.42% Democrat, and 27% decided to not declare. So keep this issue where it belongs. Why shoot yourself in the foot? It's on the state ballot. In the end, this isn't about party. It's about fairness, integrity, and keeping the people's voice where it belongs, with the people. Thank you.
Next speaker is Diane Bubis.
Hello. We've lived in Fountain Valley for almost 40 years, and we love it here. And when I look at our core values, they are all nonpartisan. Honesty, integrity, teamwork, innovation, fiscal stability, quality of life, ethical behavior, excellent customer service. There's nothing partisan in any of that. I would like to keep the city council nonpartisan, because I think if we start making partisan statements, it will just get more and more. There's no reason to make a statement about this and then not making statements about other things that are state issues and not city issues. So I'm hoping that we don't vote on an issue, or you don't vote on an issue that really can't influence the votes but can just divide our community.
Mark Ecker.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. Council Member Grandis stole many of the things that I was going to say, but I'll move ahead anyways. My name is Mark Ecker. I've been a homeowner and a resident here in Fountain Valley for over 50 years. I was superintendent of the Fountain Valley School District for 18 of those years, and I've always been very, very proud of our city for many, many reasons. Primarily because the council over the years prioritized municipal issues to better serve our citizens. During my tenure as a school district superintendent, I learned that there are items that should and should not go on a local governing body's agenda. Proposition 50 is not one of those items, and it does not belong on a city council agenda. Proposition 50 is highly partisan and divisive. Voters will, as it was already pointed out, take positions pro or con, and they will vote their conscience at the ballot box. It is a state and federal issue and has no bearing on the municipal affairs of our city. You have all been elected as nonpartisan representatives to best serve the city of Fountain Valley and act to a great extent on behalf of all of our citizens. Please do not take a partisan view one way or the other on this proposition. You risk needlessly dividing this community and labeling the city council and the city itself as highly partisan and interested more in politics than in acting on behalf of the entire community. We have seen this happen in neighboring cities, and it's what has been pointed out has made our city, I think, very special. Taking a position on this issue will, in my opinion, compromise your credibility and could determine to a great extent your own legacy. Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Edward Sussman.
I always hate to have to follow Mark. I actually agree totally with what Councilmember Grandis said and what's been said already today. I wanted to just tell you that in the past, when there's been an election that has come up, one of the questions that gets asked of people that run for city council is, what does the city council do? And I can always remember in the years past, several of people always say, we do the city's business. This is not the city's business. Never was. And actually, if you wanted to divide this community, you've done a really good job. I can tell you that many people, I've lived in, my wife and I have raised our family here. We've lived here for over 50 years. And I cannot remember any time when an issue came up that was so divisive in the entire city, where people, actually, you all have a right to either support or not support Proposition 50 as individuals. And you have name recognition throughout the city so people will know who you are. But I can tell you that the biggest mistake that you can make is to put anything to a vote that has any opposition like this has. And for people that will say to me, some people have said to me, well, the Texas thing was a wrong, and two wrongs don't make a right. Well, if it's a wrong, we're putting another wrong on the ballot. And I ask you to take a close look at how you vote, because I know it will have an impact on the future of this city. Thank you.
Next speaker is Alana Molcho.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. I'm Alana Molcho. I'm a resident of Fountain Valley and have been for most of my life. I grew up in Fountain Valley and I returned here to raise my own family here. I would like to, as many others have, urge the City Council to not make a statement regarding Proposition 50. Fountain Valley has a variety of people with a variety of opinions, and there isn't any one political statement that can speak for all of us. City Council is supposed to be nonpartisan and to do work related to our local community, not to declare opinions about state or federal issues. Individuals can vote as they see fit, but the City Council should not make sweeping opinions about such issues. And I know this isn't groundbreaking, and I'm saying what a lot of people have said, but we feel very strongly that it is the right thing to, regardless of your opinion on the proposition, to not make a City Council-wide statement on it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Rudy Hubner.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Thanks again for giving us the opportunity to speak our voices on this matter. I'm here to, again, be in agreement with Councilmember Grandis and a lot of the speakers up here to say that the city should not be taking action on this item whatsoever. My concern is the appropriateness of this. It doesn't seem appropriate to me for the city to take a position on a statewide ballot measure that's outside of our municipal jurisdiction. Quite frankly, it just doesn't make sense. It's not city business. We manage local affairs. Prop 50 is a state-level measure about congressional redistricting. It has absolutely no bearing on our day-to-day city operations. It's not something that's going to be affecting our funding. It's not something that's going to be affecting any of the services that we provide to our residents, businesses, or schools. And there's a risk involved here. It sets a dangerous precedent because if the city takes a stance on this, then it sets an expectation that, oh, well, if you don't take a stance on a future proposition, is that showing favoritism? Is that showing a partisan slant when our goal is to remain nonpartisan? And the bottom line is, this is a state-level issue that is being left up to the voters to decide. We've received our information in the ballot. Many of us have received our ballots at our own home, and the council needs to trust that the residents will be informed on this item and will be able to vote accordingly. The action of the city taking an official position serves no functional purpose other than to send a political message, and that's not the proper goal of local government. We expect you to concentrate on issues within municipal control, not weighing in on matters that belong directly to voters. So again, do not support this action. And again, reaffirm that the city remains nonpartisan, focused, and accountable to the core mission, which is serving the people. which is, following our core values, as other speakers have mentioned. And so, the city should not be taking an official position on this and should let whatever happens with Prop 50, let the voters decide. Thank you.
Letty Martin.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and staff. My name is Lee Martin. I am an almost 40-year resident of Fountain Valley. I have raised my kids here. I have worked here. Coincidentally, in the sister cities discussion, Hyundai was one of my key clients. I helped construct that project. It was the biggest construction project in Orange County in 2012. Kingston was also one of my customers. My kids, one of them lives, I have boy-girl twins that just turned 41. One of them lives in Fountain Valley. One of them lives very nearby in Huntington Beach. All three of my grandkids are very involved in Fountain Valley, in the schools and activities. My wife and I have been very involved. Folks that know me in the community, I've been involved in my HOA, in the school Joint Force Task. I serve on my HOA board. I believe that Fountain Valley truly is a great place to live. I often say the best investment I ever made in my whole life was the decision to move to Fountain Valley. When I heard that this was coming up on the agenda, I was shocked because I have a lot of friends that live in Huntington Beach. And as I've said, my daughter lives in Huntington Beach with her husband and 2 sons. And my daughter invited my wife and I to the swearing in of the Huntington Beach City Council a couple of years ago. And it was like a junior high school show. I can't even describe. And if you've been to a Huntington Beach, if you haven't been to a Huntington Beach City Council meeting, please go and see what we need to avoid. They dove deep into politics, things that don't belong in the city. And if you don't know, it has clearly hurt the city. They have lost the respect and confidence of at least 40 or 50% of the residents. A city manager and several other key officials in this city have left. And myself, my wife, and a lot of people we know, a lot of people, no longer take our discretionary money to Huntington Beach because we are so turned off by the politics of what's happened in that town. And it all started with going down the rabbit hole of bringing state and national politics into the city. As others have said, your decision to vote on this won't influence anybody in this city, but it will divide this city. And I see the risk of what's happened in Huntington Beach. And so I ask you, please, don't go there. Leave it alone. I've often bragged to many of my friends and my kids that live in Huntington Beach. We're so proud of the city council because it is nonpartisan. It acts that way. We see it that way. I've talked to Glenn and others. And I just see how you operate as a nonpartisan body and you do what's right for the residents, for the city business. Prop 50 is not city business. Please leave it alone. Thank you.
Anna Katsuki.
Maybe going with the theme tonight, Watashi no namae wa Katsuki-san. Okay. Skoshi nihongo hanashimasu. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am a resident of Fountain Valley, and I'm here tonight because I'm concerned that the council is considering taking a position or holding a vote on Prop 50. With respect, this is a state-level matter that has no direct impact on our city's governance, budget, or operations. Our city council's role is to address local issues, things like infrastructure, public safety, housing, and city services, the matters that directly affect our residents' daily lives. Using city resources, time, and official capacity to weigh in on a state ballot measure, especially one unrelated to our community, feels outside the scope of local government. It also risks dividing our residents over an issue that the state's voters as a whole will decide, not just our city. I respectfully urge the council to stay focused on the priorities within its jurisdiction and not take an official stance on Proposition 50. Doing so will help preserve public trust that our city government is focused on serving local needs, not engaging in statewide political debates. Things are divisive enough. And I also hope the voters of this city will pay attention to how you vote on this matter. Arigato gozaimasu.
Next speaker is Libby.
Hello again. So I've read the staff report on this resolution, and it is marked that it has no bearing on any of our 3-year strategic goals. Passing this resolution will not enhance the culture and environment of a nice place to live, nor will it do anything to help us achieve fiscal stability and create revenue. This resolution will not help us attract and retain quality staff, nor do anything to help our infrastructure. Bringing this resolution to council is purely a political action. Prior to his election, Jim Canine told me to my face one-on-one in a one-on-one conversation that he would not bring outside issues to our city council. He told me he would focus on city business and outside politics don't belong in the city council. Yet he seconded the motion to bring this Proposition 50 resolution to the council. The resolution mentions the importance of a transparent process. Prop 50 is a transparent process. In California, the voters are deciding. The proposed maps are included in your voter guide, and the citizens will decide if we will temporarily change our state's congressional lines. In other states, there's no transparency and the citizens have no say. The resolution highlights the importance of keeping communities of interest together. It also mentions that if Prop 50 passes, it would divide some cities, but this resolution doesn't mention that Fountain Valley will remain whole when it is passed, and we will remain in District 45 with all of Little Saigon as a significant part of our district. No change to Fountain Valley. So why are we considering this political action? Please don't put your thumb on the scale. Don't pass this resolution. Just let the voters decide. Thank you.
Next speaker, Elizabeth Andrade.
I really was here for the strategic planning conversation and then was inspired to speak up while I was here and waiting for that agenda item to come up. Elizabeth Andrade, good evening, Mayor and Honorable City Council members. I, too, echo the sentiments that have been shared. I won't reemphasize them, but I will make an observation that my fellow residents have continued to highlight our alignment with the city's core value, which should not be taken for granted. I think, especially in today's day and age, having that grounding and the anchor of our core values as a city and aligning on the bipartisan nature that the City Council represents is critical. And so I'm highly encouraged by the conversation tonight, by everyone who's spoken, regardless of party line. I too was really honestly surprised to see how it showed up on the agenda and the fact that there have been resources aligned to investigate, support, added to the agenda. And so you have a committed resident who loves the city of Fountain Valley and loves our core values and wants to ensure that we continue to hold them as our anchors. Thank you.
I have no further requests to speak on this item.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, before we open the floor, I want to clear a few things, and I want my city attorney to help clarify a few things. So there was the issue was, I guess it was brought to my attention that I also voted for no on Prop 50, and I didn't recall making a statement. I only, as a mayor, my role is to facilitate the platform and control the meetings. At the last meeting, item for future considerations was proposed, and you have a second. And can you please clarify on that, Mr. City Attorney? I did not take a position. My role is to make sure that it gets moved on to the items to be agendized. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. When we do items for future consideration, a motion and a second can just be because a council member wants to discuss, or for whatever reason they want it to come on another agenda to have discussion, since they can't discuss something that hasn't been agendized.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure that that's clear. All right. Other than that, I want to go ahead and open the floor for discussions. And Councilmember Constantine, did you want to?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and let you weigh in because you're not in the room.
Yes.
So.
I do, actually. We did have a public speaker saying that this vote is not merely, that this vote is, not
Hey,
affecting
Kim,
the
can
city.
you get
Yes.
closer to your microphone, please?
Sure. Okay. Sorry about that. Is that better?
Can you increase the volume?
Anyway,
Go ahead.
we did have a speaker that was talking about the fact that we would stay in the 45th district if indeed this proposition passed. While that may be true, the reality is everybody's vote counts. And this is for the bigger picture for the entire state of California. So that's very important to know. I have put out this matter on social media and put out what the city put out, which was the resolution information here. And it was quite frankly very eye-opening to me. And it talked about, a yes vote would transfer the authority to draw congressional districts from the California Citizens Redistricting Commission to the state legislature. There were especially 8 whereases, and a few of them were very, very impactful. People, unfortunately, are busy these days. They don't want to read through things. I give the simplest things, and, the bottom line is people don't want to read. So I'm going to just read a couple more here. A yes vote would basically remove existing safeguards intending to maintain the integrity of local communities in the redistricting process. Another one would be, if voting yes, it would diminish, there's more to it, but diminish the voters' voice. Well, I'm throwing in the word voters, diminishing their voice in Congress and undermining the voter-approved framework of fair redistricting. So in a nutshell, if this Proposition 50 were to be approved by California residents, we, the voters, are going to lose quite a bit. And this is not something that's up for argument. This is factual. So go ahead and vote how you want to vote. And quite frankly, I was a little bit surprised it's on our agenda. But since we're here and we're talking about it, people watch these meetings, it's important to know that a yes vote, we're going to lose a lot as voters with this redistricting if it goes through. We're also hearing out there that, we're getting mailers and things that are wrong. So I haven't had time to verify that, but we got to beware on that too. It's very unfortunate what's transpiring. But since we are here and we are talking about this matter, I think it's important to say that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Constantine, for your input. Councilmember Grandis? You already spoke? Okay. Anybody else want to chime in?
Sure.
Okay, Councilmember Harper.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody that came here tonight. Really appreciate your input on the matter. I brought this matter forward because I think Prop 50 is really bad for California, bad for independence, and thought it was significant enough that I wanted to talk about it. I haven't brought up anything like this in 6.5 years on the council, but this really I felt strongly about. So I want to talk about 2 things. One, I want to just talk about the proposition, and a lot of people said it doesn't impact Fountain Valley, and I'm going to push back a little bit on that. So as as was explained by our city attorney, the basic thing in California, we had independent redistricting commissions that drew our district lines in 2010 and 2020. This proposal intends to take that away and transfer the districting power back to the legislators. There's been some, claims that it's in response to gerrymandering in other states, which I also disagree with. I think that's not a good idea at all. And so the second part of the position about calling on a kind of a constitutional amendment or something in that regard. So I think that's a pretty good idea. And I just wanted to also explain how this will impact our district. We will remain in the 45th congressional district, but our district lines have moved. They've changed. This is, there's a tool online. You can say, will your congressional district change? And so when I put in Fountain Valley, the current district is 37% Democratic, 33% Republican. That's a 4% difference. The proposed district is 39% Democratic, 30% Republican. That's a 9% difference. So there's a shift of 5% in favor of the Democrats within our district. And just to give you a little perspective, in 2024, our district was won by Derek Tran. And I like Derek Tran; he's a good guy, but he won by 653 votes. So it was it was a very close vote. So this proposition will, 5% of 300,000 votes, that's how many votes are. It's really shifting 15,000 votes toward the Democrat. And, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, I think this kind of partisan manipulation has no place in California and no place in Fountain Valley. It affects Fountain Valley. We're losing 15,000 votes in our congressional district. And just for voter registration, Ms. Town mentioned it. Currently, we are, as of October 6th, we're 39% Republican, 32% Democrats, and 29% other. In my mind, this is, at the risk of talking about the proposition, I think it's a terrible idea. Now, having said that, the next question is, should we take a position as a city? And this one is not so clear to me. I think, I think everybody's made a pretty strong case that regardless of how we vote, maybe it's not our place as a city to take a position. And sometimes I hear you. I get that argument, and I think it's a pretty good one. And I think there are some times when even if what you do is not going to change somebody's mind, it's there's stuff that the state does that you just gotta push back and say, hey, this is wrong, and taking a position while not sometimes symbolic positions are important. So I just want to give you some background on why I think this is an important discussion to have. I'm interested. I understand Councilmember Grandis, Councilmember Constantine's position on not having the city take a position, and I gotta say I'm leaning a little bit that way myself. But I do want to hear from the Councilmember Canine and Mayor Bowie.
Before you chime in, Vice Mayor Canine, I want to ask my colleague, Councilmember Harper. You say that if it gets past Prop 50, it would draw 15,000 new voters for Democratic. Where do they take those voter lines? Is it going north, south, east, west? Where is it heading toward? I'm just curious.
I believe I'd have to look at the map, but I think it's taking away from Yorba Linda and moving up to Norwalk, and then I think that's the main shift.
So we're heading to LA County. So basically, when they withdraw, we go toward LA County.
I think that's so. We kind of looks like a bubble. So if you you press like a balloon, and so we kind of ballooned up into LA a little bit. That's where my reading of the map.
All right, thank you. All right, Vice Mayor Kenny.
Yeah, I also want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. So the reason why I seconded this is because I have faith. I have faith in our city. I have faith in our community. We value education, and so I wanted this to be a forum for us to speak in a safe place, maybe different from some of our neighbors, the way they communicate, perhaps. But this is an opportunity for us to deal with something that, as many people feel, this is an egregious sort of impact on democracy, as well as the exact opposite, right? So this is a moment for us to flush it out, because we've never seen anything like this before. And let me give you an example of why I think this is worth talking about publicly. And I do appreciate you being here tonight, because I think this is the beginning of some maybe a new way of dealing with tough issues that are state or federal, but this is something that's on a lot of people's mind. Let me share with you, how many of you were involved with the Independent Redistricting or Districting Commission in Fountain Valley? I was in 2021. We actually had an opportunity to have a representative from the state. We had an official meeting at Mimi's Cafe. It was during COVID, so we had to do this over Zoom. And I put this on a couple of my Facebook pages, so you can actually watch how the process currently works. Because I want there also to be truth and to be facts of the way the state is set up, the way the process works. And so I'm glad I got that opportunity to do that. With that said, we have had 10 speakers, and the theme is consistent. And the theme is our city does things differently from other cities. We focus on Fountain Valley first. We take care of our local issues, and I get that, and I'm on board with that. But I wanted this to be a moment to talk about something that has impacted a few of us in a pretty big way. And so thank you for listening. Thank you for expressing. This doesn't insulate us from these bigger issues. I'm sorry to say, that's part of living in California, right? And so let's keep talking about this on the dais. Hopefully not too long, but this is what we do. This is the hard business of debating ideas and potential resolutions or not, because we think it's important enough to challenge things that maybe we were taught a certain way that doesn't match with our life thinking or the way we want things to work in our society. And so that's where we're at right now. It's not clear, right? We're debating this and we're discussing this. And so I'll leave it there.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead, Councilmember Constantine.
Thank you so much. I have a question for Colin, our attorney for the city. Colin, are we allowed on social media, now that the election is coming, closer, of course, because it's next month and it's just about time to vote. Are we allowed to, because a lot of times people ask me how I'm going to vote on certain things. Are we allowed to state on social media our vote choice? Because I'm not going to be silenced, quite frankly.
So it depends on whether the social media is paid for with public funds. If it's your private social media account and no public funds are used, then you can express how you would vote.
Right, because there is a clear movement we've heard to shut our voices. Yeah, I get it. It may not necessarily be completely a city matter, but the theme is clear. And my eyes are definitely more open than they were just a few hours ago. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I want to interject real quick, because I think you answered a different question than I interpreted her question. I think that we are not allowed to talk about something we are going to vote on as a council. But on social media, if she wants to talk about who she wants to vote for president or on Prop 50, absolutely you can. I think it's just here at the dais, something that comes before us as a council that we can't talk about. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, there is a due process issue to have an unbiased decision maker when you're acting in an adjudicatory capacity, when you're looking at a CUP or something of
Right.
that nature. For legislative matters, it's a little different and there's some more freedoms.
And I get that. It's just that I'm very, very active on social media, and I can tell you, a number of people have told me recently, oh, you shouldn't, well, I haven't said to people how, I'm a no on 50. I'm not gonna make any bones about it. I'm an adamant no. You vote how you wanna vote, and please vote. And just once, by the way. But I get people saying that being a city council member, like, I don't have a voice. And I'm not talking about anything that we vote on as far as city council. I'm talking about my own, how I'm going to vote. And so I remind people, I'm just like you. I get a vote just like you. You know, so FYI, because there will be blowback.
Right.
And some will come my way. So I just want to head that off. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilmember
Sure.
Constantine, for your input. I think, correct me, Mr. Attorney, if I'm wrong on this one, I believe what she's trying to say is how she votes, how she vote on her own platform. She's allowed to, because if someone is preventing her from doing so, then they're going to trump on her First Amendment of speech. Am I correct? As long as within her platform, and there's no second council member chiming in on that issue, or third council member chiming in.
Right, there can't be a second or third council member
There you
chiming
go.
in on it, because then you have a Brown Act issue. But
That's right.
And I see the issue, and I understand what Councilmember Grandis brought up. There's always a perception that you've already expressed an opinion on something that we were going to debate and decide. We run into the due process issue most prominently when it's a hearing or a permit of something of that nature.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mr. City Attorney, for clarifying that. I'm a little bit puzzled and concerned to some of the data to my colleague that just mentioned about the percentage if it gets, Proposition 50 gets passed. So currently, right now in California, there's 52 members of Congress, but only 9 members representing the Republican Party. Do you see something wrong with that already? Is that a good representation of the people? My opinion, something to think about. Only 9. While 52 members are, as a member of Congress. That's only 17%. But yet, the Republican, in California, I believe they are at least, I think 35%. We're not the majority, but only only 9 members. So that's concerning. If I was an American citizen, I'm concerned. We should have proper representation either way. So this issue has been, it's very important for me. I have some really good fellow, I could call him friend, calling me and ask me to weigh in on this issue. And I have studied quite a bit over the weekend. And I have concern, and I'm going to point out some of my own finding and let my colleague weigh in and the public, what they think of it. So some have said that Proposition 50 is a national issue and a nonpartisan. Well, I want to be clear. While it may affect the balance of power in Washington, its substance and consequence are very local to our city. The question here is, it's not about partisan or nonpartisan, but what I want my colleague and a resident to think about. First, representation. If Prop 50 pass, California congressional maps will be redrawn for 2026 through 2030. That could move part of our city into a new district.
No,
Let's hear all the points.
but that's wrong.
But it's been drawn, it's going to move to north. So that means you have different city waiting in. With a new member of Congress, possibly, for a resident, that's not abstract. It decides who they call when they need help with Social Security, with veterans benefit, with FEMA in a disaster, or with an immigration case. And for us as a city, it determines whether we have a strong voice in Washington, D.C., or whether our community gets divided and diluted. Second, funding. Some mentioned about funding earlier. Our city relies on federal dollars for housing, transportation, water, public safety, and grants. Those dollars don't come automatically. They come because we work with our congressional representative to bring them home. If Prop 50 changed our lines, it may change who we're working with, and that can affect how quickly projects move forward and whether our priority are championed or ignored. In our case, we are currently working with Congressman Tran with our ask of $5 million for a new fire station to maintain our future growth sustainability. Third, local election works. If the maps change, counties and city clerks will need to redraw precinct, possibly adjusting polling places and update voter rolls. That is work our residents will see the next time they vote. It is not a distant national issue, it's a local, on the ground task. Finally, our role as a city leader. We depend on strong relationship with our congressional partners. If Prop 50 passed, those relationships may shift, and we may need to rebuild them to make sure that the needs of our community remain on the federal radar. Now, we also recognize the criticism. Opponents argue that Prop 50 isn't really about fairness. They see it as a short-term partisan move. They warn that bypassing the Citizen Redistricting Commission, even temporarily, undermines the independent system voters want and approved in 2010. Once we let politicians override the commission, even for a short-term gain, we set a precedent that two wrong somehow makes it right. And that's a door we should never open. Opponents also point out that merger message to Congress has no binding effect, and they believe the timing is aimed at gaining an edge in the 2026 and 2028 elections. In my view, Prop 50 doesn't stop gerrymandering, it continues it under another name. California should stand firm on principle. If gerrymandering is wrong elsewhere, it's still wrong here. Two wrong don't make it right. And we are not alone in this concern. Major law enforcement agencies, including the Orange County Sheriff Department, the Riverside County Sheriff Office, and the San Bernardino County Sheriff Department, have also voiced opposition to Prop 50. One agency tasked with protecting our communities warned against a measure, we must take that seriously. Their opposition underscores how deeply this proposition is seen as undermining stability and public trust. So yes, Prop 50 may ripple into Congress, but the decision, the authority, and the impact are here in California, in our neighborhoods, in our city budget, and in our resident daily lives. Whether you support for it or oppose it, it is not only a national debate, it is a city issue. And we have a duty to treat it in that way. And once again, I want to thank you for all of you that come out and voice on this matter. It's a sensitive issue to some, and I appreciate that you come out and you voice your concern on this. So voter created an independent commission for a reason. I remind you that. Undermining it, even temporarily, risks breaking public trust in their elections for good. That is my point.
So I'd like to commend the three of you for bringing up this topic in terms of giving your opinion on 50 and educating people on what you think is that. I don't think that's our role. I won't give a pro or a con on 50. It's not a city issue. It's interesting to me that of the people who spoke, it wasn't all yes or all no people on Prop 50. I could see people sitting next to each other who are friends that are going to vote different ways, but they all concluded the same thing. It's not a city issue, and it's not something that we should take a stand on. You presented your ideas. It was brought back, I think, in the spirit of having a conversation about it. I think we achieved that. You achieved your goals. But I think it's something that going forward, again, we should not take a position one way or the other. Let the residents decide. It doesn't benefit any of us up here. It doesn't benefit the city. It doesn't represent our core values. It doesn't represent our strategic planning. It doesn't fall under any of that. So with that, again, thank you for sharing your thoughts on it. But again, I would implore all of you to not take a official city stance on this.
All right, thank you for your point. And anybody else? No? Oh,
Mr. Mayor?
yes, Councilmember Constantine.
So I just want to clarify, of course, I never take a city stance. Why would I? Makes no sense. Plus, we're not allowed to. I just wanted to say that what I read before, that's from the page that the city put out if we were going to support a no resolution. So I was reversing it as far as talking about what would be lost if the vote, was to be a yes, theoretically. So just to explain it to people, because like I said, people are just not reading information for whatever reason. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Constantine. Okay, any more discussion or debate on the issue?
Yeah, I think as I said in the beginning, I feel strongly both ways. I think at this point I'm kind of leaning towards not taking a position, but I'm interested in what Councilmember Canine and Mayor Bowie would think. I'm still on the fence. Thank you.
So I'm reminded of, I don't know why, but once King George VI gave some advice to Sir Winston Churchill, and he said, "Go to the people, they will instruct you." And I think that's the theme tonight. You have instructed us, and I'm listening. So I think we've made our point. I think we've got the discussion, and it's not really a Fountain Valley thing to do, to wade into some of these tough issues. And so I'm not going to support the resolution.
This is definitely a not easy matter. My question is, to your point, to who did you say it was? Churchill? Go to the people? So the question is, I'm just curious, how did you find out about this? Who reached out to you?
You did.
Who?
You did. Call.
I did. Okay.
Oh, wait, you got to repeat that so the people at home can hear.
In your aspect, yeah, that's why I say I say consider a friend. I reach out because you reach out to me. Yes, I did. But I'm just the rest. How did they find out? Okay.
Social media.
I've been in this community 40 years. A lot of people I know are talking about how they found out. I don't. I heard it from the neighbors.
Okay.
I think people need to come up and speak because people at home
Yeah.
cannot hear what you guys are saying.
So the only reason I'm asked that question with humor is so that may perhaps, there is always a questions, do we send out enough notice? We need to send out postcard. We need to send out mailers. Obviously, we didn't do any of that. And, and you're here. So that's intriguing to me.
Mr. Mayor?
So, which is interesting, So to the point that, was there a need for that in the future? I don't know. Maybe if the matter is important enough to people, people will show up. So that's why I'm asking that questions.
I will say more people showed up tonight than to the town hall for Charter City, so that's good.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead, Councilmember Constantine.
So I just want to say, when the agenda came out, I specifically do, like I always do, I post our city council agendas and the minutes, and then I separated out the two study sessions, and then I further separated out this one. And it got a lot of traction, both on Facebook and Nextdoor. So there's that.
So it's
So
all
that's
Kim.
something I do. And I just put out the information. I don't say, which way to go on this, what to think, what to feel. This is the time. This is what the city put out. If you want to have your voice heard, you know how to do it.
Okay. So I guess at this point is if there's no more discussion than we needed, I think we'll take a roll call on the vote.
We would need a motion and a second.
Yeah, I think,
Or no motion and
Or
no second.
yeah.
take no action.
I think take no action, I think, is what we're going to do.
I'll second no action.
I'll third no action.
Okay.
So there's no action.
Councilmember Grandis, it was enticing to stay back for the next item, remember?
That's right. You think that was good. The next two items are riveting. You want to stay for it, I'm telling you. I'd like to make one quick comment to those here. Thank you guys for coming. And again, it seems like it was both sides of the issue, people agreeing that this isn't, an issue for us. And by coming tonight, I think you made a difference. So be proud of yourselves, and those watching at home, if you don't like the outcome of what happened, show up. Let us hear from you, or if you are in favor, know in the future that your voice is heard and it makes a difference. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Now
All
you
right.
can go home. Can we take a 5-minute bio break?
All right, let's take a 5-minute break. for the day. And the next item for the day is amendment to professional services agreement with the Code Group, Inc. and True North Compliance Services for plan review and staffing services. Presentations by Mr. Derek Doggett, building official. Welcome, Derek.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good to see you.
Members of the City Council.
It's been a while.
Yes, yes. Every 3 years, it seems like I come up here, so.
We like to see you. We like to see you.
Before you this evening is a request to amend the professional services agreement with the Code Group, Inc. and True North Compliance Services. They perform our plan review and staffing support. This agreement was originally approved for a 3-year term back in January 1st of 2024 with a total combined contract amount of $804,000 and we split it between the two vendors. Over this past year, you may have noticed, but the city's experienced a notable increase in multifamily development projects. We've also had some staffing turnovers. So the reliance on these consultant services has been used quite a bit. So to maintain this level of service, and to continue the customer service, staff is recommending an increase of $800,000 to bring the combined total to $1.6 million. The funding for this increase has already been included in the adopted 2-year budget. And staff recommends approval for the amendment to maintain service continuity and to support the city's growing development workload. So that just concludes my my report, and would be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Thank you, Derek, for the presentations. Mr. City Clerk, is there any public comment on this one?
We have no request to speak.
Okay. To my colleague, anybody wants to?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay,
So
Councilmember Harper.
is this money that you're asking for already included in the city budget?
It is, yes.
So we won't have to do any, wait, Omar is jumping up here.
Let me speak real quick. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. So we included in the city budget based on our look into the future. So we try to predict what's going to happen, what's going to come through with the multifamily development coming through the 2 big projects. We included increased revenues and expenditures for this line item. So we'll be taking in more revenue from applicants for these projects, and we expend a portion of that to pay for some consultant services to help us with structural plan reviews and those types of things. So with some of these big projects coming through, we're going to see increased revenue, and we use part of that revenue to then pay for these consultants.
So no effect on the current, we're not going to get a budget amendment that's, well, maybe
Correct.
revenue and expenses, but the net effect is not going to change the budget?
Correct. Since we anticipated these projects coming through, then we included them in the budget. Derek went through and put together anticipated amounts that we would receive in revenue for each project based on the size and the valuations.
Got it.
And so
Okay.
then we put in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Councilmember Constantine, did you have any input?
No, I'm good, thank you.
All right. I have no input either. Other than that, do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve item 4.
Okay, we have a second? Okay, so you have a motion and a second. Mr. City Clerk, would you please do roll call?
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Item 4 passes 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. City Clerk. Okay, the next item will be presentation by our City Attorney Maggie Lee, reference to City of Fountain Valley 6-month strategic objective adoptions for October 7, 2025 through March 17, 2026. City Manager, that's what I say.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Thank you for the remaining audience who sticking around to hear our 6-month strategic objective. I wanted to share with the community, on September 23rd, the City Council held a strategic planning session with the executive management team and department managers. We collaborated to establish the city's 6-month strategic planning objective for adoption from October 7th, today, through March 17th of 2026. September 23rd was our final meeting of our 3-year goal-setting process, and I wanted to share with the community that we accomplished over 70 strategic objectives in addition to our operation responsibility. We have the best of the best in Fountain Valley, and I'm proud of our Fountain Valley team. And so before you is a formal adoption of the strategic objective that we have agreed upon, and I want to go ahead and run by the goal and the identified objective. One of our goals is to enhance the culture and environment of a nice place to live. We identified by December 16th of 2025 City Council meeting, Deputy City Manager, Community Services Director, and Public Works Director will present an Art on the Box program in collaboration with Fountain Valley School District, Fountain Valley Community Foundation, and the city via Orange County Water District funding. The second goal is to achieve fiscal responsibility by evaluating processes and attract and retain revenue-producing businesses opportunities. By February 17th of 2025, City Council meeting, Fire Chief, Public Works Director, and Community Services Director, Deputy City Manager will evaluate and present the possibility of fundraising program for Fire Station Number 1 through donation, such as bricks, plaques, pavers, and so forth. By February 3rd of 2025, to the City Manager, Finance Director will present a plan to initiate and assess the business license operation with our consultant, HTL, or to provide an in-house service to improve customer service. The third goal is to attract and retain quality staff through best practices and trends. By June 16th of 2026, the City Council, the HR Director and Executive Management Team will prepare and present a citywide recruitment video. By December 16th of 2025, City Council meeting, Police Chief will initiate an organization assessment with a consultant to identify opportunities and challenges to improve the police department's operational efficiency and morale. Maintain, build, and modernize infrastructure to support growth and future needs of the city is another goal. By February 17th of 2026, to the City Council, Finance Director, Fire Chief, and Public Works Director will present financial data to fund the Fire Station Number 1 and seek direction from the City Council. By February 3rd of 2026, to the City Manager, IT Director, and City Manager's Office will create an internal and external education campaign to implement new phone numbers for the city facilities. That concludes the presentation related to the upcoming strategic objective. I'm happy to answer any questions City Council may have.
Okay. I believe Councilmember Constantine wanted to chime in on this one, right?
No, actually, I'm good. I just think it's very important that the community is aware about our strategic planning initiatives.
Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else want to chime in?
Make a comment.
Vice Mayor Kanin?
Yeah, I want to thank City Manager Lee for all your efforts in coordinating these 6-month goals. I think having been on council now 3 years, I think it's set a framework, and it's enabled us to sort of aim all our arrows in the right direction and row in the right direction together. And I'm looking forward to, I think we're going to kind of move into a new era of maybe an even deeper, stronger objective program. And so I'm looking forward to that, and just wanted to thank you for your efforts in this. Appreciate it.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Councilmember.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Vice Mayor Kanin said. I mean, great job, Maggie, and the entire executive team. They do such a great job. They take it seriously. They put forth lots of ideas. In a safe environment, now no idea is a bad idea. So I think it shows great leadership on your part, and I appreciate all you do. Thank you.
All right. I think my colleague have said a lot of things already. That is, obviously, we know what you do is great for the city. I'm just curious, where do you get some of this great idea?
It takes a team effort, so I would fall on my executive team and also my Fountain Valley staff in the organization itself. And of course, we have city managers, throughout Orange County, and we meet on a monthly basis. And so it's always good to, bring ideas and thoughts together. And if it makes sense for Fountain Valley, definitely we want to bring it forward for city council consideration, so forth.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you so much. Other than that, do you have a motion then?
I will happily.
Make sure, no public comment? Nobody online? Jump in the last minute? Okay, all right. Go ahead. We have a motion on the floor.
I will happily make a motion to approve the strategic planning.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion and we have a second on the floor. Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Item number 5 passes 5-0.
Okay, so before we going back, let me ask you that. Before we go back in the closed session, we haven't finished item numbers on the closed session on matter number 6. Do we have anybody who want to speak on a unscheduled matter?
No request to speak.
Okay. All right. So, does the council wants to talk about any future items for considerations? Nope. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and go back into your closed sessions.
You want to do AB 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, that goes
We
first.
do that first. Okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. Since you asked, why don't you start?
Well, my list, whoa, it's so loud. My list is very short over these last 2 weeks because I bought and sold a new home and moved, and man, am I tired. But on Saturday, the 29th, the Hyundai 5K Color Run, what a fun event for Rob and the Parks Department and everybody who volunteered. I believe there was 2,104 participants, which shatters last year's record. I think it was 1,300 or 1,400, which shattered the year before's record of 700. So what a great event by everybody. I had fun at the color station. We were supposed to be red. It was more orange, and I was covered head to toe. Looked like a Oompa Loompa when we were done, and so did the others who volunteered with me. And then I had to run home and do a showing of my home to the buyers, and I looked orange. They still bought it, so that's good. Then I attended the Charter City Town Hall on Tuesday, September 30th. So we only had 18 people show up. We had 10 speakers. All were not in favor of it. And so I am putting this challenge out there. If you are in favor of doing this, get your voice heard. Show up to the next town hall that our mayor is putting on. Participate. I think tonight we saw, things make a difference. So if you're in favor of this, we need to know. Or if you're not in favor of it, we need to know that as well. So I think that the town hall on Saturday, October 18th. What time? 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Recreation Center, Brookhurst and Heil. Make sure you show up. We want to hear from you, both sides. All right, Wednesday, October 1st, attended the Coffee with a Cop. There were a lot of cops there. It was a good event. And then Thursday, October 2nd, the OCPA 3-year celebration. I want to thank our mayor for also attending. And just a reminder, everybody, this time next year, we will have OCPA as our primary electricity provider. So I'm super excited about that. I've been on their board now for 9 months, And let me tell you, it's been a learning curve. There is a lot to learn in this industry, but it's been fascinating. I really appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to stop because that's all I only had like 4 meetings in 2 weeks because I was so busy. But again, I want to thank my colleagues. You know, at the beginning, I said I was really proud of us, and I think tonight I continue to be really proud of all 5 of us. I think we did a good job. So thank you, guys. And that's it.
All right, Councilmember Constantine.
Sure. I'll just highlight a couple of events. The recent Coffee with a Cop, it was very well attended, especially by our police, which I love to talk with them and you know, see what's up and all that. And then last Friday, we had the Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities dance. And like John Borak said, the committee chair, we had almost 200 attendees, and it was really, really nice. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Harper?
Thank you. On September 29th, attended the CalCog board meeting. The September 30th, the Charter City Town Hall. October 1st, Coffee with a Cop at Artisan. That was great to see all the police out there and chat with them. Also later that day, October 1st, I attended a Port of Long Beach tour with Assemblymember Tree Ta. It was great to get on a boat tour and see the port. It's gigantic, and it's amazing how much commerce of the America's commerce goes through there. And then on Monday, October 6th, attended OCTA Regional Transportation Planning Committee meeting. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Canine.
Thank you, Mayor. On September 28th to the 30th, I attended the International Council of Shopping Centers, or ICSC, Western Conference in Palm Springs, together with Mayor Bowie, Deputy City Manager Databoy, and his economic development team. Some highlights were meeting some shopping center property managers in our city, like Corland Companies, and some retailers, like the Taco Stand and Farmer Boys. The future looks bright for some new business in Fountain Valley, for sure. On September 30th, I participated in the first of 2 town hall meetings to learn about and get feedback from the public. Thank you to city staff, especially City Attorney Burns, for educating us on this potential new policy area, and look forward to our next town hall to advance that process. On October 1st, I also attended the Coffee with the Cop event at Artisan 7 Leaves. That was sort of the second shift. I think you guys had all just left, but it was great hanging out with our police force, our RSVP volunteers, and some local businesses that attended, like the UPS store. And then later on October 1st, I joined a virtual meeting with city staff, Mr. Frank Iguchi, the president of Huntington Beach City Sister Cities, and Mayor Koike of Hekinan City in Japan for potential Sister Cities partnership with Fountain Valley, as we discussed earlier. And I look forward to advancing our relationship and future discussions of potential mutual benefits for our cities. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Canine. So my report is on September 27. I attend the Hyundai 5K. And I have to thank my colleague, Vice Mayor Canine, because on that day, my voice was out. I couldn't speak. And he stepped up and he spoke on my behalf, and of course among a colleague and city. So I want to thank you, Vice Mayor Canine, for that. On September 28th through September 30th, myself and the Vice Mayor, we were at the ICSC conventions in Palm Springs, along with our Omar Ditaboy directors who was there, and Development Ron Marcus, as well as Victor from Business Development, who was there as well. So thank you. On October 4th, I attend the OCPA 3rd anniversary celebration along with my colleague, Councilmember Grandis, that was there. It was a great ceremony. They give us a little bit of an update and a little bit of the history of OCPA. And on October 4th, I attend UPS store ribbon cutting, and Councilmember Constantine was there as well with our city manager. And in the same day, I also attend the Lady Bell Medical Spa ribbon cutting. And that same night, there was a first Moon Lantern Festival opening ceremony right here in Fountain Valley. And this is their 3rd annual. It has always been held in Garden Grove. And this year they have decided to move to Fountain Valley. And there was, I say at least 5,000 attendee. So I reached out to our city manager, Maggie Lee, just like the when we received the notice that the invite, I say, hey, we should have this coverage. This is significant. This is the first time they do it in Fountain Valley. So Danny came out. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Danny. His staff was able to come out and they covered. So you should see that coming. I think it's very different, I have to say, and it was very exciting. And you could see the joy in the child's face. What's better than see a child, smile? So that was a great experience. And who else was there? As a matter of fact, council member from Garden Grove came out. She was Cindy Tran and said, "Oh, how come he's over here this year?" I said, "Don't ask me." So it was interesting that we had that event. And I think that's it. That concludes my report. And now we are going to go into closed sessions.
Mayor, if you can recognize.
You want to recognize it? Okay, yeah. No, not the fitness. They're not here. That's the fitness. Yeah. So I'm going to, although it's not officially adjourned, but I'll go ahead and recognize Mr. Phil Nesco. Tonight we adjourn our meeting in memory of Mr. Philip Nisco, a longtime Fountain Valley resident, dedicated volunteers, and a valued member of our community. For over a decade, Phil gave this time and talents for serving on city committees and supporting initiatives that made a difference in the lives of our residents. His commitment to Fountain Valley and his spirit of service left a lasting mark on our community. On behalf of the City Council, we extend our heartfelt condolence to the Nisco's family. We thank them for sharing Phil with us, and we honor his many contributions to our city. Once again, although here it says adjourned, but we're not adjourned. We got to go to our closed sessions. So once again, our condolence to Mr. Phil Nisco family, and now we're going to go into a closed session.